Beginning with a gentle golden wind and light rain, the master of ceremonies, with a single stroke, surprises the world. This video is purely for entertainment, and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting, and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 201, Beauty Trap. The third beauty, Yan Wuxiang. Subordinates, immediately pass this news to Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower and Changhan Palace. Cui Wu said. Then he led his men to leave quickly. Suddenly, the courtyard became quiet. After a while, a disciple brought a secret letter. Su Chen opened the secret letter. Gisha Mansion and Child Tower are going to deal with Qinglang Society tonight. Duan Qinggaya, the first deputy owner of Child Tower, rebelled and wanted to join Qinglang Society. It seems that there will be a good show tonight. I should go down the mountain. The true energy in Su Chen's palm flowed, and the secret letter in his hand was directly shattered. Gisha Mansion and Child Tower fought. This is a big deal. If Qinglang Society wiped out the forces of Gisha Mansion and Child Tower tonight, plus Duan Qinggaya sent a few territories, Qinglang Society has made a name for itself in the 9 northern counties. After Su Chen explained here, he secretly left Shan Gate and went to Lingnan County. He still wanted to participate in such a scene. Moreover, although he believed in Xiao Qiushu's strength, Gisha Mansion and Zhilalao were not simple either. They still needed to be guarded against. Of course, he also wanted to tell Mei Zuanxiang about the right provincial government historian Zhe Xiaonan. He wanted to find out the details of Zhe Xiaonan from Mei Zuanxiang. If someone attacked him, he would not let the other party live. Since they were enemies, it would be better to kill them. Of course, he still had to find out some of Zhe Xiaonan's background. At this time, Lingnan County, the residence of the right provincial government historian. In the backyard, in the pavilion in the center of the waterside pavilion, in front of Zhe Xiaonan stood a woman wearing a cloak. "What do you want to see me for?" The woman looked at Zhe Xiaonan and said, "Just now, a pigeon came from Shanmen. The person I sent to Shanmen was killed. The one who killed him was Su Chen, the leader of Shanmen." Zhe Xiaonan looked calm, but his tone was extremely low. "Who did you send?" the woman asked in a deep voice. "The housekeeper of my mansion is at the peak of soul refining," Zhe Xiaonan said. The woman in the bamboo hat changed her expression. "Su Chen, the head of Shanmen, does he have the strength to kill your housekeeper?" There was disbelief in her eyes. She was also a figure in the power of Lingnan County. She knew the changes of Shanmen and Su Chen, the new head of Shanmen. His strength was at the early stage of soul refining. How could he kill a warrior at the peak of soul refining? Perhaps, this Su Chen is the backup left by Miran Qingchen. If it is a backup, it is not surprising to have such strength. Now I understand why Miran Qingchen left Lingnan County so easily, Zhe Xiaonan said in a deep voice. "You asked me to come here, to kill this Su Chen. Your housekeeper couldn't kill Su Chen. I'm afraid I can't kill him with my strength," the woman said. "You don't need to kill him. I think the value of Su Chen has increased. It is most beneficial for us to control him alive," Zhe Xiaonan said. "Then why did you ask me to come? It seems that I can't help you," the woman in the bamboo hat said. "Of course you can help me. Your disciple Yan Wuxiang is famous for her beauty, and is known as the third most beautiful woman in the 9 northern counties. If she goes to subdue Su Chen, I think there should be no problem. Since ancient times, dying under the flowers, becoming a ghost is also romantic. Su Chen is very young, and should not be able to escape the beauty robbery," Zhe Xiaonan said. In fact, if Su Chen was here, he would say something he had never heard before. The woman would only affect the speed of his sword drawing. "Use Wuxiang, didn't you say that you would give Wuxiang to a big shot? Why do you want to use it now? Aren't you afraid of losing more than you gain?" the woman in the bamboo hat said. Yan Wuxiang was trained by the two of them for many years, and was ready to be sent out to help them please the people behind them. "I believe Wuxiang will take him down without suffering any loss," Zhe Xiaonan said. "There is no need to say more about this matter. Tell Wuxiang to come back. By the way, don't try to get rid of the poison in your body. I have found a turning point and I believe I can get the antidote soon," Zhe Xiaonan said. Hearing this, the woman in the bamboo hat looked happy. You said that you are about to get the antidote? Yes, I have entered the unity of spirit and soul, and I have the opportunity to contact it. I have mentioned the antidote. Zaishianan said. Good. The woman in the bamboo hat said good twice. After a while, she calmed down. By the way, Mei Zuanshan from Changhan Palace appeared, and Meng Shentang came with her. Do you think she will find out that we controlled Lao Wuhu before? The woman in the bamboo hat then thought of something and said, Lao Wuhu is dead, and we didn't kill him, so who would know? You don't have to worry about this. Don't pay too much attention to Mei Zuanshan, lest she targets you. This madman is very murderous. Zaishianan was deeply afraid of Mei Zuanshan in his words. Understood, I'll leave first. The woman in the bamboo hat said, and turned to leave the pavilion. Looking at the figure of the woman leaving, Zaishianan had a medicine bottle in his hand. You are really stupid. In fact, I'm the only one who controls you. Now that my strength has entered the unity of spirit and soul, there is no need to control you with poison. I will give you the antidote, and I believe that you will be more loyal to me. Zaishianan said softly. Above him was Wen Yifan, the governor of Lingnan County. Wen Yifan, a strong man in the realm of heaven and man, was even more extraordinary. He disdained to use poison to control those who surrendered. It was just that Zaishianan's strength was in the realm of soul refining before, and he couldn't control these people at all, so he used poison to control them. Now that he has entered the state of unity of spirit and soul, he is fully capable of suppressing these people. He is prepared to use this kind of gesture to make these people completely submit to him. From this point of view, this Zaishianan is very scheming. At this time, a man in a green robe walked along the wooden walkway and came to Zaishianan. Master, just now, the Lingnan branch of Changhan Palace, Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, sent a message to form an alliance with Shanman, saying that to deal with Shanman is to be enemies with Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower and Changhan Palace. In addition, I have secretly received news that today Gishimanshan and Chal Tower invited Ziokiashu of Kinglan Club to Yunhuvilla for a talk. According to analysis, it should be Gishimanshan and Chal Tower that want to take action against Kinglan Club. The man who walked in bowed and reported. Hearing the man's report, Zaishianan's face condensed. I didn't expect that Su Chen could get Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower and Changhan Palace to speak for him at the same time. It seems that I still underestimated him. Stop all the movements from Shanman. You should pay close attention to the movements from Yunhuvilla. Once the results come out, let me know immediately. Zaishianan waved his hand and ordered. Yes. The man in green robe bowed and accepted the order, then quickly retreated. Zaishianan then left the waterside pavilion. Chapter 202, Self-Respecting Identity. One of the dominant forces in the Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, Helian Zioyao appeared in front of Bei Chalfei. Master Bei, you are not doing things right. Why did you form an alliance with Changhan Palace and Shanman? You promised to form an alliance with me. Helian Zioyao looked at Bei Chalfei and said, this seems to have nothing to do with your cooperation with Commander Helian. My Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower is open for business, and we value the source of income. As long as it is beneficial to my Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, we will do it. As long as I give them information about Changhan Palace, they can get 1/3 of the profit. Why shouldn't my Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower do it? And Commander Helian, now in Lingnan County, everyone else has moved, but you haven't. Our Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower has lost a lot of profit? Bei Chalfei said. Haha, the action is about to start. The main reason I came here this time is to talk to you about something. It's a big shot behind me who wants to talk to the people in Shianaya Pavilion behind your Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. That big shot's strength is in the 3 difficulties of the heaven and man realm. Of course, this strength is not the main thing. The main thing is the other part is identity. Helian Zioyao said. He mentioned the 3 difficulties of heaven and man. In fact, he believed that Bei Chalfei would be able to understand the meaning of the words. Of course, he also looked at Bei Chalfei. He wanted to see what expression Bei Chalfei had when he heard about the 3 difficulties of heaven and man. But Bei Chalfei's face was calm. It seemed that he didn't care about the 3 difficulties of heaven and man he mentioned. Why? The person behind you wants to meet the master of the 3 difficulties of heaven and man in Ashiyanaya Pavilion. Bei Chaofei looked at Helion Xiaoyao and said, the two have been together for such a long time. Bei Chaofei is still somewhat familiar with Helion Xiaoyao. Yes. Helion Xiaoyao nodded. Shangwen has already entered the Heavenly Man realm. His strength should be consolidated in the next 2 days. Can't he go to see him? Bei Chaofei looked at Helion Xiaoyao and said. He didn't know the big shot Helion Xiaoyao was talking about. But Shangwen Jinhang has now entered the Heavenly Man realm. It's completely okay to meet him. I'm afraid that's not possible. Helion Xiaoyao said with some embarrassment. It's not that he didn't want to agree. From a purely strength point of view, Shangwen Jinhang is fully qualified to meet Wen Yifan. But Wen Yifan is not just the governor of Lingnan County. He is also a child of the Wen family in the capital. He is a very arrogant person. Shangwen Jinhang, who has just entered the Heavenly Man realm, may not be in his eyes. Humph. If that's the case, then there's no need to meet. Bei Chaofei snorted coldly. His Jinfeng Xiao Tower is not begging for cooperation with others. If the other party is proud of his status, then there is no need to cooperate. Master Bei, please don't be angry. I will discuss this matter again. In fact, if you can get in touch with this line, Jinfeng Xiao Tower will definitely become one of the dominant forces after the changes in the 9 northern counties. Helion Xiaoyao said. One of the dominant forces in the 9 northern counties. Hearing this, Bei Chaofei's eyes condensed, and then said, my Jinfeng Xiao Tower will definitely become a dominant force after the changes in the 9 northern counties. Commander Helion, don't worry about this. His tone was very confident. Helion Xiaoyao didn't know what to say at this time. I came here, not only to tell you about this matter, but also to consult you about one thing. That is, the layout of Gisha Mansion and Child Tower tonight. Have you found out? Helion Xiaoyao asked, changing the subject. We haven't found out the specific layout, but there should be something exciting tonight. Bei Chaofei said. Someone outside has already set up a secret bank and started betting on who will win and who will lose. I don't know who Brother Bei thinks will win and who will lose. Helion Xiaoyao asked. Now, the odds are 10 to 1 for the Blue Dragon Club to win, and 1.3 to 1 for the Ghost Demon Mansion and the Paradise Tower. Commander Helion, can't you see anything about this winning rate? Bei Chaofei said. I can't see it, but I think you, the Lord of the Bei Tower, know more about the Blue Dragon Club, and I think your judgment will be very accurate. Helion Xiaoyao looked at Bei Chaofei and said. I'm optimistic about the Blue Dragon Club, and I have also placed a secret bet on it. Bei Chaofei said. I was waiting for you to say this. By the way, I have found Biangsun and Hefengtang. They have joined forces. It is estimated that they will take action against your Jinfeng Xiao Tower in 1 or 2 days. If you don't arrange people to deal with these two forces. Helion Xiaoyao looked at Bei Chaofei and said. They have already taken action. Later, these two forces will announce their merger into my Jinfeng Xiao Tower. The situation is changing. Bei Chaofei will not wait for others to take action. Leng Hushan has already taken action here. Leng Hushan was stimulated by Shangwen Jinhang and directly stepped into the unity of soul and spirit from the soul refining realm. After Leng Hushan entered the unity of soul and spirit, he went to Heaven Hall and Biangsun. After the immortal dragon entered the unity of soul and spirit, his body became stronger. His own energy was more powerful. He could completely deal with Heaven Hall and Biangsun. It's already started. Helion Xiaoyao didn't get the news, but Bei Chaofei said so, which meant it must have been done. Tonight, let's go and watch the actions of the Ghost Evil Mansion together. Helion Xiaoyao then proposed. I'm afraid this won't work. Today, a very important person from the force behind me, Xian'ai Pavilion, will come. Bei Chaofei shook his head. Su Chen has already come down the mountain and came to the county city. He needs to be by Su Chen's side tonight. A very important person. I wonder if Brother Bei can introduce him to me. Helion Xiaoyao asked immediately. It depends on the mood of that adult. Bei Chaofei looked at Helion Xiaoyao and said. There was no agreement, nor was there a refusal. This Helion Xiaoyao, his identity has been confirmed. He is the young Marquis of Zenan Marquis. Zenan Marquis has some status in the capital, which will be useful later, and this relationship needs to be maintained for the time being. Then I will wait for news. By the way, Gishimanshan and Jalalao will launch an attack on the affiliated forces of Qinglang Temple in the next 2 days. This is the opportunity for you Jinfeng Xiaolao to expand. Don't miss this opportunity. After Helian Xiaoyao finished speaking, he bowed to Bei Chaofei and left. Is it going to be launched in the next 2 days? Did Qinglang Temple not notice it at all? Bei Chaofei thought to himself. Please ask Deputy Tower Master Nalan to come over. Bei Chaofei walked out of the room and instructed a disciple in the corridor. After a while, Nalan Rangan appeared in front of Bei Chaofei. Where has Helian Xiaoyao been these days? What Helian Xiaoyao mentioned today should have been instructed by some instructions. And this person should be in the 9 northern counties, or in Lingnan County. Helian Xiaoyao's whereabouts have been erratic these past 2 days, but based on the area where he disappeared, I guess he met with Lingnan County's rarely seen County Magistrate Wen Yifan these past 2 days. Nalan Rangan said. Wen Yifan, what is his background? Just now, Helian Xiaoyao mentioned the other party's strength and emphasized his extraordinary identity. County Magistrate Wen is from the wealthy Wen family in the capital. He is a brother of the current head of the Wen family. The head of the Wen family, Wen Zhengshan, is the mentor of the third prince. The previous head of the Wen family was also the emperor's teacher. Nalan Rangan said in a deep voice. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 203 Leng Hushan, Hefengtang. Hearing Nalan Rangan's words, Bei Chaofei's eyes condensed. The background of this Lingnan County magistrate is so great that he had overlooked it before. It is normal for such a person to be arrogant. Lord Leng, have you arrived at Hefen Hall and Byangsun? Bei Chaofei said. Lord Leng has arrived at Hefen Hall. The head of Hefen Hall, Jin Haiyang, is in the hall. The head of Byangsun, I have ordered people to follow him and keep track of his movements at all times. Nalan Rangan replied, pay close attention to the movements over there and report to me at any time if there is anything. And you will go to Yunhu Villa with me tonight. After tonight, you will stay in Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower for a while. I want to retreat and break through. Bei Chaofei said. After becoming the head of Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, Bei Chaofei also got himself a lot of elixirs to increase his own strength. He has good talent and has suitable elixirs. He has improved very quickly. He has now vaguely touched the threshold of the unity of spirit and soul. He wants to take the opportunity to see if he can step into the unity of spirit and soul. His current strength is somewhat unable to keep up with Su Chen's pace, and he must make every effort to improve. Hearing this, Nalan Rangan was stunned. He secretly marveled at Bei Chaofei's talent. He also had elixirs, but he did not have the terrifying cultivation qualifications like Bei Chaofei. Tonight, an absolutely great man will come. This man's opinion is very important to your development in Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. This is your chance. Bei Chaofei suddenly said. He has been working with Nalan Rangan for such a long time, and Bei Chaofei recognizes Nalan Rangan's ability. But Nalan Rangan is different from them. They are absolutely loyal to Su Chen. And Nalan Rangan and other people who have been conquered will lack some loyalty. He recognizes Nalan Rangan, but Su Chen does not necessarily believe in Nalan Rangan. If Nalan Rangan is recognized by Su Chen, he will give Nalan Rangan the greatest power. Hearing Bei Chaofei's words, Nalan Rangan's face showed surprise, and she couldn't help asking, compared to Lord Guan Qi. Guan Qi is now in Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. Bei Chaofei told Nalan Rangan about Guan Qi's strength, which was beyond the reach of heaven and man. So in Nalan Rangan's eyes, Guan Qi should be the big man behind the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Master Guan must also obey the visitor absolutely. Bei Chaofei just said this, and didn't say anything else. Pay close attention to the situation of Hefen Hall and Byangsun. As long as Master Leng gets rid of the masters of these two parties, you will send someone to take over immediately. Don't give other forces a chance. Bei Chaofei said. I understand. Nalan Rangan bowed and left the room. Nalan Rangan showed joy on her face when she stepped out of the room. Although she joined the Golden Wind and Rain Tower and was recognized by Betrayals, but she still felt out of place. Now Betrayals was going to take her to meet the big man behind the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Maybe it was her chance to truly integrate. She had to work hard. Another place. Heffen Hall. One of the 3 major intelligence forces in Lingnan County. Chen sat on a tea house outside Heffen Hall, looking at the door of Heffen Hall. When he came to Lingnan County, he got the news that Leng Hushan had entered the unity of soul and spirit. Leng Hushan entered the unity of soul and spirit. In order to hone his own strength, he was ready to eliminate the opponents of Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, Heffen Hall and Biangsun Hall entrance. Leng Hushan's aura circulated, directly suppressing the guards of Heffen Hall. They were unable to move. Some people who had entered Heffen Hall to buy intelligence felt the pressure emanating from Leng Hushan, stopped and left quickly. Who is this person? Some people on the street spoke. Who is this? This is Leng Hushan from Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, who appeared in the previous battle with Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, and has the strength of the peak of the soul refining realm. Some people continued. Leng Hushan, Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. Is Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower going to take action against Heffen Hall? But is one Leng Hushan enough? Some people doubt Leng Hushan's strength. Although Leng Hushan's strength is a little strong in their eyes, but how could it be simple for Heffen Tang to stand in Lingnan County for so many years? The head of Heffen Tang, Jin Haiyang, also possesses the strength of the peak of soul refining. Although he has seldom taken action in recent years, no one can ignore his existence. Plop. Under the suppression of Leng Hushan's breath, the guard of Heffen Tang fell directly to the ground. The corner of his mouth collided with the ground and broke directly, and a trace of blood flowed out. Leng Hushan didn't care about the 2 of them, but prepared to step into Heffen Tang. Who dares to act wild in Heffen Tang? At this time, a tall man walked out of the Heffen Hall. Behind him, there was a man wearing a ghost mask on his face. This person was wearing a black robe that wrapped his whole body, so his figure could not be seen, and it was impossible to tell whether he was a man or a woman. The eyes exposed on the mask were dark blue, giving people a very strange feeling. The Deputy Hall Master of the Heffen Hall, Nihihu, the Deputy Hall Master Tu Yin Xiao. Seeing these 2 people, a person who was drinking tea on Su Chen's floor said in shock. There are 2 Deputy Hall Masters under the Master of the Heffen Hall, Jin Haiyang. They are these 2 people. Among them, Nihihu is good at horizontal training Kung Fu, and his strength is in the late stage of soul refining. The other person wearing a mask, outsiders don't know whether this person is a man or a woman, but he practices hand Kung Fu. Killing people is like a butcher, so outsiders call him Tu Yin Xiao, and his strength is also in the late stage of soul refining. The 2 often join forces to kill people. Once, the 2 of them worked together to kill a peak soul refining warrior. These 2 are in the Heffen Hall, and Leng Hushan may not be able to leave now. Some people said. Su Chen, who was sitting next to the pavilion and drinking tea, glanced at the 2 of them. He shook his head. Even if Leng Hushan did not break through, it would not be difficult to kill these 2 people. Leng Hushan is called the Immortal Dragon. The main thing is that when he fights, he relies on the rapid recovery of his body, and he has no scruples. He fights hard once he attacks, even if you are a little stronger than him. Seeing this situation, it is estimated that he will be timid in his heart. No matter who it is, as long as he shows a trace of timidity, Leng Hushan will seize the opportunity. Seize the opportunity, and you will have no plan to survive. When Su Chen shook his head, Leng Hushan took the lead, and after solving Heffen Tang, he had to go to Biangsun. So it is necessary to fight quickly and not give Biangsun too many opportunities to react. As soon as he kicked the ground shattered instantly. The body shot at the 2 people. He wanted to blow up the 2 people with 2 punches. Rampant. Seeing Leng Hushan attack without saying a word, the 2 were also extremely furious. Nihihu also jumped up instantly, and the energy in his body quickly flowed in his palm, turning into a black tiger, roaring and bombarding Leng Hushan's palm. The masked man stepped on the ground, and the rocks on the ground cracked. Then he raised 1 foot, and the gravel on the ground attacked Leng Hushan like an arrow. While the gravel attacked, he, the black-robed man, made a move with a metal glove on his palm, and directly grabbed Leng Hushan's throat with a claw. The speed was very fast, like a stream of light. Chapter 204. A crushing kill, a mistake. Swish. The air seemed to be cut by a sharp blade, and a gap appeared. The black-robed man attacked fiercely and swiftly. Coupled with the powerful ki force that burst out from Nihihu's palm, sand and rocks flew everywhere. Bang! Leng Hushen's fist collided with Nihihu's fist. The black-robed man's palm slashed towards Leng Hushen's throat. Boom. But when his attack was about to touch Leng Hushen's throat, he was blocked by a huge ki force. The black-robed man who attacked changed his face and retreated rapidly. Leng Hushen must have stepped out of the soul refining realm to block his attack with ki force. He was not his opponent, so he retreated directly. But at the moment they retreated, Nihihu, who was fighting Leng Hushen head-on, was hit by a punch and flew backwards. At the moment Nihihu flew backwards, Leng Hushen's figure suddenly rose again, turning into a black shadow and rushing directly towards the retreating black-robed man. The broad palm grabbed the opponent's mask directly in the other party's horrified eyes. Snap! The opponent's mask was directly pinched into his cheek. Ah! The black-robed man screamed. Then Leng Hushen raised his foot and kicked the opponent's heart with his toes. The key penetrated the opponent's heart, leaving a bloody hole. The black-clothed man fell to the ground, twitched a few times, and died directly. On the other side, Nihihu's arms fell down. One of his arms was directly disabled, and his face was horrified. "Your strength is the unity of spirit and soul," he said in horror. Yes. When Leng Hushen spoke, his figure appeared in front of the other party and slapped his palm towards the other party's head. At this time, a violent ki appeared from the heaven hall. With the appearance of this violent breath, a figure flew out of the heaven hall and slammed Leng Hushen with a palm. Leng Hushen showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth, and his palm fell directly without any pause. Nihihu's head was smashed like a watermelon by Leng Hushen's palm. The figure that appeared also hit Leng Hushen's body with the palm. "Leng Hushen, you are too arrogant. You dare to hit me with the palm. Even if you are the unity of spirit and soul, you will be injured by my palm," the man who made the move said coldly. "Really? This little strength has no effect on me," Leng Hushen said coldly. While speaking, he raised his palm and grabbed the other person directly at a very fast speed. The other person turned his body when he saw this, but Leng Hushen was not slow and grabbed one of the other person's arms. He exerted force directly. Swish! He tore off the other person's arm. Then he threw it aside. The man whose arm was torn off by Leng Hushen retreated to the side and covered his arm. This was an old man in his 50s, with a look of horror on his face. He was wearing a brocade robe and was the master of Heaven Hall, Jinheiang. "Go, kill him." Jinheiang, whose arm was torn off by a blow, ordered the disciples of Heaven Hall. Boom. Boom. Leng Hushen slapped out with two palms, and those who were about to rush towards Leng Hushen were directly blasted out of their bodies, exploded, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. The scene was bloody. Seeing this, Jinheiang was about to go to Heaven Hall. There was a mechanism in Heaven Hall. He wanted to use the mechanism to kill Leng Hushen. Boom. But at this time, Leng Hushen's palm directly grabbed him. A violent force burst out in Leng Hushen's hand. The injured Jinheiang was directly caught in Leng Hushen's hand. Boom. Then he slapped out with his palm, and the surging energy burst out from the center of his palm and directly hit Jinheiang's body. Bang. Jinheiang's body exploded, and all his bones shattered and fell to the ground. "Today, Heaven Hall will be incorporated into my Jinfeng Xiao Tower." Leng Hushen's voice rang out on the street. The voice was domineering, and the momentum was boundless. Chen stood up at this time, looking at Leng Hushen who was bursting with momentum, and couldn't help but admire in his heart. After Leng Hushen's voice fell, figures quickly appeared from the street outside and poured into Heaven Hall. Although there were traps in Heaven Hall, the Hall Master and Deputy Hall Master were killed. They were powerless to resist. At any time, many people were cowardly. Of course, there were also those who resisted, but they were quickly strangled and became a corpse. Leng Hushen did not stay here, but went in the direction of Byangsun. Heaven Hall was solved, and the remaining Byangsun had to be solved quickly. Many people followed Leng Hushen's figure and went to Byangsun. Chen did not follow. He was going to Changhan Palace to communicate with Mei Zuanshan about the news of the right governor Zai Xian'an. Here, in a house with a crimson wall, In the courtyard, an old man with a thin figure and wearing a brocade robe was sitting on a stone platform in the courtyard, holding a book in his hand and reading it intently. A servant rushed in hurriedly. My lord, something bad has happened. The servant who came in shouted hurriedly. The old man who was reading a book showed a trace of displeasure between his eyebrows. He put down the book in his hand and said coldly, what happened? Why are you so anxious? My lord, Leng Hushan of Jinfeng Xiao Tower destroyed Hefeng Hall. When I came back, he was heading to Biangsun. The servant said, after calming down for a while. What? You said that Leng Hushan destroyed Hefeng Hall. Isn't Jin Haiyang in Hefeng Hall? The old man who was calm before showed a puzzled look on his face. Master Jin and others were killed by Leng Hushan. Leng Hushan's strength seems to be the unity of spirit and soul. The servant replied. Leng Hushan's strength is the unity of spirit and soul. Hearing this, the old man in brocade clothes condensed his eyes. Go to Biangsun first and see the situation there. The old man ordered. Yes. The servant left quickly. After the servant left, an old man who looked like a butler walked over from not far away. What do you think about this matter? The old man asked. Sir, although Hefeng Hall is headed by Jin Haiyang, it is secretly your power. This Jinfeng Xiao Tower is attacking Hefeng Hall. I think it may be aimed at you, sir. Recently, Helian Xiao has been in frequent contact with Bei Chaofei of Jinfeng Xiao Tower. Helian Xiao, I just met the county magistrate a few days ago. The old man who looked like a housekeeper said. You mean, the county magistrate is going to attack us? We don't seem to be hindering him from doing things. The old man in brocade clothes said in a deep voice. Sir, the people of the 3rd prince and the 7th prince have already started to attack Qinglang Temple, and our local power actually belongs to the lineage of the eldest prince and Qinglang Temple. It is normal for them to attack us at this time. Perhaps the attack of Jinfeng Xiao Tower is their test. The old housekeeper continued. You should pay close attention to the situation of Helian Xiao and Jinfeng Xiao Tower. Also, has there been any instructions from Qinglang Temple? The old man in brocade robe asked. Not yet. I want to contact Qinglang Temple again. The old housekeeper said. Go. The old man in brocade robe waved his hand and then said softly, such a thing happened in the county government. I, the left governor, should go to pay a visit to Lord Wen. This old man in brocade robe was Li Wei, the left governor of Lingnan County. Chapter 205. It's normal for some people to die at this time. Lingnan County, Changhan Palace Branch Hall. In the main hall, Mei Zuanshang listened to the news reported by the Changhan Palace disciple, and her eyebrows moved slightly. Then she waved her hand to let the disciple leave. Golden Wind and Rainy Rain Tower has taken action. Hefeng Hall is finished, so Biangsun will definitely not escape its hands. Is the Golden Wind and Rainy Rain Tower going to show its fangs? Mei Zuanshang said softly. Although she cooperated with the Golden Wind and Rainy Rain Tower, she was also wary of the Golden Wind and Rainy Rain Tower. There is Shiana Pavilion behind the Golden Wind and Rainy Rain Tower, a very unfamiliar force. She had to be careful. As for Su Chen of Shanmen, Mei Zuanshang didn't have too much guard against him. Su Chen was promoted by Mirren Qingchen. He was considered Mirren Qingchen's man. Although she and Mirren Qingchen didn't get along, they were both serving a prince and had the same goal. Su Chen and Shanmen were actually one of their forces. Increasing the strength of Shanmen is to increase their own strength. This is why she mentioned the point of the 3 families sharing the benefits earlier. Because in this way, they can actually occupy more than 60% of the benefits. I hope that after Jinfeng Xiao Tower takes down these 2 major forces, it will quickly give me the information I want. Jihuao Shenzhen and his men are about to move, and others will probably move as well. I can't fall behind. Mei Zuanshang said softly. At this time, a disciple bowed and walked into the hall. Palace Master, Shanman Sect Master Su Chen is here to pay a visit. The disciple walked in and reported. Su Chen, he came here? Could it be related to the previous news? Mei Zuanshang thought to himself. Please ask Master Su to come in. Mei Zuanshang ordered. After a while, Su Chen was brought into the hall by the disciple. Mei Zuanshang looked at Su Chen and looked at him carefully. Your aura is calm, without any fluctuations. It seems that I underestimated you again. That was because he was too arrogant, so I killed him. Palace Master Mei should have known the previous news. According to my investigation, the person behind those people should be Zaishian, the right governor of Lingnan County. I don't know if Palace Master Mei knows the details of Zaishian. I want to kill him. Su Chen did not hide his purpose this time. You are very murderous. Your personality suits my taste. Behind Zaishian should be the county magistrate Wen Yifan. I don't know if you know the details of Wen Yifan. Mei Zuanshan looked at Suheo and said. Suheo shook his head. He really didn't know the situation of Wen Yifan, the county magistrate of Lingnan County. Of course, he had heard of the name of the county magistrate. It's just that this county magistrate rarely shows up. It's easy for people to ignore him. Under the governor of Lingnan County, there are the left and right governors. The left governor Li Wei is a local force, belonging to the power of the eldest prince, and belongs to the same faction as the Qinglan Temple. The right governor Zaishian has not joined anyone on the surface, but Zaishian has secretly joined Wen Yifan. Wen Yifan is from the Wen family in the capital. The head of the Wen family is the mentor of the third prince. The Wen family is serving the third prince. This time, the attack on the eldest prince was actually mainly the third and seventh princes. Now it is the seventh prince's people who are openly attacking. Mei Zuanshan said in great detail. Is that so? Su Chen heard Mei Zuanshan's words and his expression condensed. In this case, killing Zaishian means offending Wen Yifan. Wouldn't it be enough to not let him know who killed him? At this time, it is normal for some people to die. Mei Zuanshan said. Now I understand, but Palace Master Mei, according to reason, you should take action. Lao Wuhu's matter should be the method of Zaishian. Su Chen said afterwards. I'm not here to avenge them. Don't expect me to take action against Zaishian. By the way, Zaishian's strength should have entered the realm of unity of spirit and soul. If you want to kill him, you need to be careful. Mei Zuanshan said softly. It doesn't matter. Now that my Shan sect has merged with the Xian sect, there is a lot of money. Even if Zaishian is a unity of spirit and soul, he must die. Su Chen said coldly. This time, it is just in this name, to send money to the Qinglan Association. You want to ask the Qinglan Association to take action. I don't know if Zioqiashu of the Qinglan Association can survive tonight. Mei Zuanshan said. Tonight? What's going on? Su Chen asked in confusion. Tonight, the Ghost Demon Mansion and the Paradise Tower are hosting a banquet for Zioqiashu, the leader of the Qinglan Club's first month. Zioqiashu's strength is at the level of unity of soul and spirit, so he should not be able to escape death. Mei Zuanshan said. The Ghost Demon Mansion and the Paradise Tower have produced strong men in the Heavenly Man realm. Su Chen asked curiously. Overall, it should be mainly the unity of soul and spirit, but the ghost slave next to Ni Kunlun, the young master of the Ghost Demon Mansion, should be a strong man in the Heavenly Man realm. The Heavenly Man realm and the unity of soul and spirit, although it seems to be only a realm difference, the strength is a world of difference. Would you like to go with me tonight? Mei Zuanshan looked at Su Chen and said. Ghost slave, the Heavenly Man realm, is a bit strong. In this case, I'd better not go. My strength is a bit weak. Su Chen rejected Mei Zuanshan's invitation. He will go to the Golden Wind and Rain Tower tonight, or he may also play a guest role in the Qinglan Club. He has a Zhu Yiren experience card on him. Zhu Yiren's experience card is close to the unity of soul and spirit. This Su Chen feels a little weak in definition. Zhu Yiren is known as the world's #1 swordsman after all. His strength should at least be considered as the unity of soul and spirit, or he should have entered the realm of heaven and man. But now that he is using Zhu Yiren's experience card, his combat power is definitely at the unity of soul and spirit. I didn't expect you to be so timid. Mei Zuanshan looked at Su Chen and said. It's not timid, such a big event, we small people have to avoid it for the time being. Su Chen said. You are now the head of the Shan sect, and you are a big figure in Lingnan County. Don't underestimate yourself. There are a few PON pills in it, which can help you consolidate the foundation of soul refining, and enter the middle stage of soul refining, as soon as possible. While Mei Zuanshan was speaking, he handed Su Chen a white jade bottle in his hand. The main thing is, that the opponents are not local forces in Lingnan County, but some strong people. Watching too much will undermine your confidence. Thank you, Palace Master Mei. I'll take my leave first. Su Chen took the bottle and said. After thanking Palace Master Mei, he left. After Su Chen left, an old man with a thin figure and sharp eyes appeared in the hall. Miss, it seems that you are very optimistic about Su Chen, but you are too cautious not to watch such a big battle. The old man said. He should go to watch, but not with us. Who do you think will be the winner tonight? Mei Zuanshan asked. No one will know who will win until the end. The old man did not answer directly. But this matter is not what we want to focus on. What we need to focus on now is Qinglang Temple. Qinglang Temple is not so easy to deal with. This time, the action of Gisha Mansion and Child Tower may cause trouble. Then the old man said worriedly. Hearing this, Mei Zuanshan frowned slightly. Let people keep a close eye on various places and report immediately if there is any situation. Mei Zuanshan said in a deep voice. Chapter 206, Yunhu Villa, where the heroes gather. I have arranged for the spies of Changhan Palace in the 9 northern counties to do it. But if they don't do well this time, I'm afraid it will be difficult to deal with Qinglang Temple later. The old man said in a deep voice. Meng Leo, you seem to be pessimistic about this alliance. Mei Zuanshan said. It's not that I'm pessimistic, but whether the princes are willing to pay the price. Sometimes, if you don't pay the price, you can't accomplish anything. The old man said softly. While they were talking, the disciples of Changhan Palace came to report again that Biangxuan was captured by Leng Hushan. This time Mei Zuanshan's expression did not change at all. It was normal for Hefeng Tang to be captured and Biangxuan to be captured. Meng Leo, what do you think of Jinfengxi Lao? Mei Zuanshan asked. There are masters of the Shanren realm in Jinfengxi Lao, and their strength may be higher than mine. The old man Meng didn't say anything, but said this. The strong man of the Shanren realm is sitting here, and the Jinfengxi Lao has great ambitions. I don't know if it can be won over to our side. Mei Zuanshan said. It's not so easy to win over such forces. If we can make friends, cooperate and form a community of interests, they should not become our enemies. Seeing Mei Zuanshan say so, the old man Meng spoke. Thank you for the reminder, old man Meng. But this Su Chen can be connected with Bei Chaofei of Jinfengxi Tower. He should know something about Jinfengxi Tower. We need to invest more in him. Mei Zuanshan said. At this time, Su Chen, who left Changhan Palace, found an inn to stay in, take a rest, and go to Yunhu Manor at night to see what's going on in Gisha Mansion. On the other side, in the mansion of the right governor Zaishianayan, bang, Zaishianayan smashed the table and chairs in front of him with one palm. What does this Jinfengxi Tower want to do? Don't they know that Biangxuan is an industry that I secretly control? Zaishianayan's face was gloomy. Hefeng Tang was destroyed by Leng Hushan. He was still worried that Leng Hushan would attack Biangxuan. Unexpectedly, he really attacked Biangxuan. Sir, do you want to capture Leng Hushan? A man in a grey robe in front of him said. If we capture him, his spirit and soul will be united. Even if I take action, I may not be able to capture him. Zaishianayan calmed down and said, I'll ask for instructions on this matter. See if you can send a master to get rid of Leng Hushan. You should pay close attention to Leng Hushan's movements. Yes, the man in the grey robe said. For a while, the whole Lingnan prefecture was somewhat turbulent. Jinfengxi Tower directly captured Hefeng Hall and Biangxuan at this juncture, which made many people feel that something was unusual. Of course, this news was soon covered up by the fact that Gisha Mansion and Child Tower hosted Zhao Qiushu, the leader of the Qinglang Club in the first month, at Yunhu Villa. Compared with Leng Hushan's action, tonight, Yunhu Villa is a battle of dragons and tigers. Yunhu Villa. In the hall of the manor, Ni Kunlun and Duan Qinggai were sitting in the living room. Deputy Building Master Duan, there are not many masters coming to Jila Building. There are only 2 soul integrated masters including you. Ni Kunlun looked at Duan Qinggai and said, Young Master Ni, our Jila Building has just started, and the foundation is not as good as your Gui Sha Mansion. It is already good that I can have a soul integrated master to help me. Duan Qinggai said. Of course, Jila Building is not without soul integrated masters. The main reason is that Du and King Gaia cannot mobilize the soul integrated masters of Gila building. As for why Gila building still has a soul integrated master, the main reason is that this person will take over Du and King Gaia's position at the right time. Deputy Building Master Duan, your situation is not good. Ni Kunlun glanced at Du and King Gaia. He knew about Du and King Gaia's situation in Gila building. I don't know if Deputy Building Master Duan has considered my previous proposal. After tonight, there will be no chance to consider it. Ni Kunlun said softly. Master Ni, I will not surrender to your ghost demon mansion. Master Ni will not ask about this matter anymore. No matter how many times you ask, you will answer the same way. Du and King Gaia replied. Hearing Du and King Gaia's words, Ni Kunlun narrowed his eyes and said in his heart, Du and King Gaia, you are looking for death. If I capture Xiaoqiushu tonight, I will send you on your way. At this time, Ni Kunlun failed to win him over, and he had already thought of killing Du and King Gaia. At this time, a disciple of the villa ran in. Master, there is news from the county city that Heffen Hall and Byungsuan were captured by Jinfeng Xiaotar. While the disciple was speaking, he handed the letter in his hand to Ni Kunlun. Ni Kunlun took the letter, opened it, and his eyes condensed. He handed the letter in his hand to Du and King Gaia who was standing beside him. How is this possible? Du and King Gaia looked unbelieving. The letter mentioned Leng Hushan's strength, which was the unity of spirit and soul. Leng Hushan had taken action before, and his strength was in the soul refining realm. But now, the soul and spirit are united, which is unexpected. Nothing is impossible. It seems that after today, I have to contact this Jinfeng Xiaotar. Ni Kunlun said. If you don't die today, maybe you can meet the people of Jinfeng Xiaotar. Du and King Gaia didn't say anything, but he thought so in his heart. Deputy Tower Master Duan, have you arranged everything in the manor? We must not let Xiaoqiushu and others leave tonight. Ni Kunlun changed the subject and said. Everything has been arranged. If Xiaoqiushu dares to come, he will be unable to escape. Du and King Gaia said. Time passed little by little, and soon the sky became dim. But Yanhu Villa seemed brightly lit. The people in the villa were waiting for the arrival of Xiaoqiushu of King Lan Club. Outside Yanhu Villa, a group of warriors with swords and sabers appeared. Chen was wearing a black robe, a mask on his face, and a dark hat on his head, which made him feel like he was blending into the darkness. At this time, several figures appeared outside Yanhu Villa. An invitation card appeared in their hands, and they were taken directly into the manor. This geisha mansion also sent out invitation cards. Chen, who was on the periphery, had a condensed look in his eyes. After a while, people were brought into the manor one after another. Even Mei Zuanshan from Changhan Palace walked into the manor with an old man. We still have to enter the manor, otherwise we won't be able to see the wonderful show outside. Chen thought to himself. Then he disappeared. On a street leading to Yanhu Villa, Chen directly robbed a warrior who was going to Yanhu Villa. He got the invitation card of Yanhu Villa. The villa recognizes the invitation card, not the person. Chen took the other party's invitation card and entered Yanhu Villa. The invitation card Chen got was ordinary, so he was arranged in one place and was not entertained. At this time, Ni Kunlun was receiving some people in the hall. Looking at Ni Kunlun who appeared, Chen couldn't help shaking his head. He didn't understand why Ni Kunlun dared to show up. The Geisha Mansion is different from ordinary forces. The Geisha Mansion is a killer organization. Isn't he afraid of being killed if he shows up like this? Chapter 207. Arrogant from the start, on the verge of exploding. Inside the villa, Chen was somewhat puzzled. He thought that the Ghost Demon Mansion should have other plans. After all, even if the young master of the Ghost Demon Mansion, Ni Kunlun, was not smart, could it be that the master of the Ghost Demon Mansion, Ni Fenghan, was not smart? If not, the Ghost Demon Mansion would not be the #1 killer organization in the 9 northern counties. Inside the villa, there were many people wearing masks like Chen. Some people were talking. Some people were standing in one place, waiting for Xiaoqiushu from the Zengaihu Hall of the King Lan Club to come. Do you think Xiaoqiushu will come? Some people asked. I heard that Xiaoqiushu has received the invitation and will definitely come tonight. I just don't know if he can leave the villa. The person next to him said. Su Chen didn't pay attention to their conversation, but he stood under a tree and sensed the surrounding situation. With his strength reaching the soul refining realm, he could clearly sense some of the surrounding situations. Suddenly, some snowflakes appeared in the sky. These snowflakes fell on the people in the yard and were quickly evaporated by the ki. However, layers of fine gauze appeared on the ground. The weather was a bit cold, and the snowflakes falling on the ground did not melt. I don't know when the people from the Qinglang society will arrive. Some people began to murmur. Although they were warriors, their own ki flow could consume these falling snowflakes, but ki was limited, but time was unlimited. They didn't know when the people from the Qinglang society would arrive. As these people murmured, 4 figures walked in from outside. Bei Chaofei from the Jinfeng Xiao Tower, Nailin Rangayan, Mei Zuanshang from the Changhan Palace, and an old man. That's Bei Chaofei from the Jinfeng Xiao Tower. They are next Biangxuan and Hefengtang today. Now this Jinfeng Xiao Tower is the largest intelligence force in Ulingnan County. I just don't know if the price of intelligence will change without competition. Some people said. They were surprised that the Jinfeng Xiao Tower destroyed Hefengtang and Biangxuan. But what really concerned them was the price of intelligence information. If 3 companies compete, the price will be more advantageous. If one company dominates, the price will be hard to say. At this time, in the hall of the manor, Ni Kunlun was receiving some people. These people were all invited by him. He invited them to take advantage of the opportunity to deal with the Qinglang society. Normally, the assassin organization should not do this. But Ni Kunlun's mind is indeed to make the ghost demon mansion public, become a real force. This is why he will show up and invite such a powerful person. As long as Xiao Qiushu is killed today, he will announce this matter. Now the atmosphere in the 9 northern counties is surging. It is an opportunity for their ghost demon mansion to change. Duan Qingaya, who was beside him, looked very unhappy at this time. At this time, he already knew Ni Kunlun's idea. Unexpectedly, this time, Jile building was used by the ghost demon mansion, or Ni Kunlun. I just don't know if Ni Kunlun has arranged anyone else besides the ghost slaves. This is what Duan Qingaya is worried about now. Don't worry about it for now. Let's get rid of the people who arranged it in secret first. Duan Qingaya threw away these worries. Since he has made a choice here, he has no way out. Deputy Building Master Duan, what do you think of this momentum? Ni Kunlun walked in front of Duan Qingaya and said, Master Ni is really good at scheming. My child building is just a foil. Duan Qingaya said coldly, isn't your child building's target the #1 assassin organization in the 9 northern counties? After the turmoil in the 9 northern counties this time, Argisha Mansion can give up the title of the #1 assassin organization. Ni Kunlun said, aren't you afraid of accidents? Duan Qingaya glanced at Ni Kunlun and stopped talking. Ni Kunlun wanted to be open. Duan Qingaya didn't want to, so he tried his best to make everyone ignore his existence. Looking at Duan Qingaya beside him, Ni Kunlun showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth. Suddenly, outside the villa, a shocking sword energy appeared. This sword energy was sharp and domineering, full of murderous intent. Everyone looked towards the entrance of the villa. At the entrance, 3 figures appeared. The leader was Xiao Qiushu, holding a long sword, and slowly stepped in. Behind him, Jing Wuming and A Fei followed with calm expressions. However, their hands were on the hilt of the sword, as if they would draw the sword out of the sheath at any time. Qinglang Hu Xingayatang, Xiao Qiushu, Jing Wuming and A Fei, the Jianghu in the manor, exclaimed after seeing the 3 people. Xiao Qiushu looked at the Jianghu in the manor and frowned slightly. In his opinion, the meeting between Gisha Mansion and Jilalao should be private. Why would it be so grand? At this time, in the hall, Ni Kunlun said to Duan Qingaya, Deputy Building Master Duan, the guests are here. Let's go to greet them. Duan Qingaya didn't say anything, but his figure flashed and went out of the hall. Ni Kunlun also flashed out. Behind him, a thin old man followed closely. People in the hall also stood up. They came here just to see the strength of the Qinglang Hu. At this time, many people gathered outside the hall, but the middle passage was given up. Perhaps the manner chosen by Ni Kunlun was to let people watch the battle, so the manor seemed very spacious. Su Chen looked at Ni Kunlun who walked out. Wearing a brocade robe, he looked like a gentleman. Ni Kunlun, young master of the ghost demon house, I really want to see what tricks you are playing. Su Chen thought to himself. At this time, Xiao Kyushu also looked at Ni Kunlun. His strength was in the middle stage of soul refining. He was considered a genius. Meet Mr. Xiao, the leader of the Zengaiu Hall of the Qinglang Society. I invited Mr. Xiao here today, mainly to ask Mr. Xiao to take the people of the Zengaiu Hall to leave Lingnan County and the 9 northern counties. Ni Kunlun stepped forward. The first words were quite polite. Later, he actually asked Xiao Kyushu to lead the people of the Zengaiu Hall of the Qinglang Society to leave. This was a bit overbearing. The atmosphere froze instantly. Some people looked at Xiao Kyushu. Xiao Kyushu looked calm. A Feni behind him stepped forward. Ni Kunlun, are you teaching us, Qinglang Society, how to do things? I don't know. Are you hardworking, or am I fast with my sword? As a Feni spoke, the energy of the peak of soul refining on his body rose instantly. The terrifying ki force turned into a sharp sword force and pressed towards Ni Kunlun. The old man beside Ni Kunlun stepped out. A burst of ki force also burst out from his body, flowing outside the body surface, resisting Arfena's ki force mixed with sword energy. The ki forces of both sides collided. Bang! Under the collision of the two ki forces, the air rippled violently like water waves, and then burst out. Iron Mountain empty back. After the old man blocked Arfena's ki force, a violent blood energy appeared in his body. Under this blood energy, his whole body bulged, and the old figure became burly, and the ki force of the unity of spirit and soul also burst out at this moment. Bang! As he stepped on the ground, the gravel on the ground exploded instantly, shaking the ground a little. Chapter 208 Zhu Zhengwo, shot through, Duan King Gaia's sneak attack. With your strength, you are not even worth a look in front of our ghost mansion. The old man standing on the ground said coldly, while looking at Arfei. Xiao Kyushu gave him a vague sense of pressure. But Arfei and Jing Wuming were in the soul refining realm, and he could crush them. Who asked the people from the Green Dragon Society to come to these 3 people? Arfei burst out his energy in the face of the old man, and his eyes condensed. At this time, Jing Wuming, who was beside Xiao Kyushu, was about to take action. Let him face it himself. Maybe he can use this opportunity to enter the unity of soul and spirit. Xiao Kyushu transmitted a message to Jing Wuming. Arfei was known as the world's fastest swordsman in the later period of Gulong's novels. He had good talent, and after entering this world, he practiced very hard, and his strength had broken through to the peak of soul refining. He was in the process of stepping into the unity of soul and spirit. Now, maybe he could use this pressure to step into the unity of soul and spirit. Kill. After suppressing Arfei with his momentum, the old man shouted in a low voice, and his figure shot out like a cannonball. He raised his palm, clenched it tightly, and punched out. The fist burst, tearing the air, and blasted towards Arfei like a raging wave. Arfei's spirit and energy were all concentrated, and his eyes were fixed on the punching fist. He stepped back and pulled away. The old man sneered, and his body speed suddenly increased. A flaming key appeared on his fist and violently blasted out. Swish. At this time, Arfei's long sword was instantly shot, and the sword light was sharp and fast, directly slashing towards the old man's wrist. The sword key tore the key, making the wrist of the punching old man feel a sharp chill. Immediately retracted his wrist. But at this moment, Arfei's body was heading towards the other party. The long sword in his hand stabbed into the other party's eyes. The speed was so fast. The old man who had just fought back quickly retreated and slapped out with his palm. The key blocked the sword key, but a blood mark appeared between his eyebrows. What a fast sword. Mei Zuanshan, who was watching the battle, said. Meng Leo, who do you think will win this fight? Mei Zuanshan said. If the 2 of them continue to fight like this, then a Feni from the Qinglang Society will win. Meng Shentang said. Uncle Lin, he is using you to hone his skills and wants to enter the unity of spirit and soul. Don't give him a chance. Just suppress him and kill him. At this time, Ni Kunlun spoke. He didn't transmit the message. He just wanted people to know that he saw this. Boom. When the old man heard Ni Kunlun's words, his expression was startled, and then he raised his palms and blasted out with both palms, setting off a whirlwind of energy, and rushed towards a Feni with violent force. Under this force, the air exploded, and all the stones on the ground were lifted up and swept towards Afei. This was to restrict Afei, hinder his sword's movement and speed. Help him. Ziokiashi sighed and transmitted the message to Jing Wuming. Jing Wuming stepped forward, step by step, but his hand holding the long sword became tighter and tighter. Suddenly, Jing Wuming's figure paused. A person with a hot breath jumped out from the dark of the courtyard and blocked Jing Wuming. Your opponent is me, don't disturb others. The person who appeared said to Jing Wuming. When he spoke, it seemed that a flame spurted out of his mouth, and the snowflakes on the ground around him melted quickly under his energy. The temperature seemed to become warmer. The third deputy building owner of Jile Building, Lai Yankuan. Seeing this figure, someone spoke. Jing Wuming held the sword in his hand, and the sword energy around him quickly flowed into the long sword in his hand. A sharp sword intent spread, resist the flame energy of Lai Yankuan. Zioqiushu's eyes revealed a sharp light, and a surging energy appeared on his body. It was just when his energy burst. A gloomy breath like the underworld appeared at the corner of the courtyard, locking Zioqiushu. And after this breath appeared, another blade also locked onto Zioqiushu. As long as Zioqiushu moved, the domineering and sharp blade would be cut out. To Heavenly Realm Masters, since you are here, show up. Zioqiushu said coldly without changing his eyes. He said this, but the two people in the dark did not show up. On the other side, Afei was suppressed. He did not find any chance to draw his sword and fight back. Afei retreated further and further. The crowd watching the battle quickly dispersed to avoid being injured by mistake. Seeing this situation, Chen in the dark condensed his eyes slightly. Afei's strength was indeed a little worse than that of the unity of spirit and soul. And he also sensed the aura of the two Heavenly Realm Masters. Zioqiushu was locked by the two, and was now restrained. It's time for Zhu Zhengwo to take action. Chen thought in his heart. Zhu Zhengwo is close to the Heavenly Realm. It is estimated that one shot can kill the person who forced Afei. Boom. Afei was blown away by a punch, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. It's still a little bit short. Afei smiled bitterly. If Nikunlin had not reminded him, he would have used his fast sword to break through another level of sword speed, and entered the state of unity of soul and spirit. Fast sword, fast sword. He wanted to improve in this area, and enter the state of unity of soul and spirit. Kill you now. The old man called Linbo shouted and punched towards Afei. He wanted to blow Afei's head with one punch. However, at the moment when his fist blasted out, a figure appeared in front of Afei. Then everyone saw a shadow of a gun blasting out from the other party's hand. The long spear blasted out, snowflakes fell, and the gun was not seen. Only snowflakes were seen. Ah! A scream appeared. Then the long spear pierced through Linbo's arm, and appeared at his throat. Killed with one shot bang. The old man's body fell to the ground. Blood gushed out of his throat. Without seeing this scene, everyone's eyes changed, and they looked at the man standing in front of Afei with a gun in his hand. The man who appeared was wearing a black robe, and looked about 30 years old. His eyes were sharp, revealing a sense of danger. He stood with a spear in his hand, and the blood on the tip of the spear fell to the ground, turning into a silver glow. The person who came was Zhu Zhengwo. Who are you? At this time, Nikunlin stared at Zhu Zhengwo with a sinister look. I'm the leader of the Eryu Hall of the Qinglang Society, Zhu Zhengwo. Zhu Zhengwo said. One of the 12 halls, the leader of the Eryu Hall. It seems that someone from the Qinglang Society has also come to Lingnan County. Hearing Zhu Zhengwo's words, the Jianghu people in the courtyard began to discuss. I don't know what trump cards this Nikunlin has. I feel the pressure of Zhu Zhengwo's strength. He should be about to enter the realm of heaven and man. Mei Zuanshan glanced at Zhu Zhengwo, and then looked at Nikunlin. After Mei Zuanshan spoke, a man in a black robe, thin in figure, with eyes like a hawk, walked out. Duan Qingaya, Lian Kuan, you join forces with me to kill this Zhu Zhengwo. The person who came said. He was no match for Zhu Zhengwo alone, so he invited Duan Qingaya and the others to join him. Duan Qingaya nodded and walked towards him. Standing beside him, he looked at Lian Kuang who was suppressing Jing Wuming. Lian Kuang's eyes condensed, and he turned and walked away. But when he turned around, Jing Wuming suddenly drew his sword. The strong sword energy attracted everyone's attention. Swish. At this moment, Duan Kingaya, who was beside the black-robed man, stabbed the black-robed man's body with the long sword in his hand. Chapter 209, Ghost Slave. A stunning shot, piercing the chest. The scene was unexpected. The man in black robes was completely focused on Zhu Zhengwo. He never expected that Duan Kingaya beside him would attack him. He turned his head to look at Duan Kingaya. At this time, Duan Kingaya had already drawn back his sword and said in a cold voice, "I have joined the Qinglang Society." When his voice fell, ah, 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 a series of screams sounded outside the courtyard. Those who were not Duan Kingaya's people who had ambushed before were all killed. Duan Kingaya arranged all assassins, and assassins insisted on killing with one blow, so after the screams fell, there was no more sound. Plop. The body of the man in black robe also fell to the ground at this moment. Seeing this situation, Ni Kunlun, who was not far away, saw this situation, and a ferocious look appeared in his eyes. He didn't expect Duan Kingaya to attack at this time. He also killed the person he ambushed. Now he wanted to cut Duan Kingaya into pieces. But at this time, Duan Kingaya didn't care about him, but turned to look at the flame maniac. Today, only one of us can walk out of here. Duan Kingaya looked at Lian Kuang with sharp eyes. At this time, Lian Kuang also looked at Duan Kingaya. "I didn't expect that you have been forbearing for so many years, and it exploded at this time. Do you think that Qinglang Club can help you?" Lian Kuang looked at Duan Kingaya and said coldly. While speaking, this Lian Kuang, a stream of flame energy appeared around his body, and these energy were violently swallowed and exhaled. The surrounding air seemed to be burned by flames. There was a crackling sound. "I didn't have the opportunity to kill you before, but now I have the opportunity, so let me see if you are worthy of the title of the first deputy building owner." While Lian Kuang was speaking, his figure soared into the air like a flying bird. His palms turned into claws and attacked Duan Kingaya. Duan Kingaya, the long sword in his hand suddenly rose, and the sharp sword light was domineering and fast, slashing out like a stream of light. The flame energy in his palm flowed and collided with the long sword. The energy and the flame energy collided, and a stream of fire burst out between him. Under this attack, Duan Kingaya did not get any advantage. Then the sword moves changed, the man followed the sword, and the sword followed his body, like a spirit snake, going to the opponent's vital points. It was just that the flame maniac's palm was flexible, and the flames in his palm were wrapped in true energy, blocking the rapidly changing long sword. Watching the battle in the dark, Su Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. Although it seemed that Duan Kingaya did not seem to be in any advantage, the energy of the flame maniac was consumed a lot. If it continued to be consumed, I'm afraid that the flame maniac would die under Duan Kingaya's sword. Look at Ni Kunlun. At this time, this guy's face was ferocious. They were originally in an advantageous position, but suddenly became disadvantaged. If the eyes could kill people, Duan Kingaya didn't know how many times he had died. Of course, the Jianghu in the manor saw this scene, and their faces changed terribly. They didn't expect it to be like this. The first deputy owner of Jilalao rebelled against Jilalao and joined the Qinglang Society. He also resolved all the previous arrangements of the Ghost Demon Mansion and the Paradise Building. From the current situation, the Ghost Demon Mansion has no chance of winning. He looked at Ni Kunlun. He hoped that he had some other trump cards. "Ghost slave, Qin Leo. Show up," Ni Kunlun said in a low voice. Zhu Zhengwo was very powerful. He killed Lin Leo beside him with one shot. Perhaps only a strong man in the heaven realm could kill him. So at this time, he could only ask the people in the dark to come out. It turned out to be Qin Qianchu, the second person in the Ghost Demon Mansion. I didn't expect that Ni Fenghan had brought many people for this plan. Meng Shentong, who was beside Mei Zuanshan, said. In this case, Zhu Zhengwo is probably not his opponent. I just don't know if there are any masters in the Qinglang Club, Mei Zuanshan said. When she finished speaking, she looked at another person. He had a dry body and wrinkles on his skin, but he gave people a very scary feeling. This was the ghost slave beside the master of the Ghost Demon Mansion. Qin Qianchu held a long stick in his hand. He went in the direction of Zhao. Qin Shianchu was going to fight Zhao, and as for Zhu Zhengwo, he would let Guinu kill him. Guinu was different from him, he just followed orders to kill people. All opponents were the same to him. When Qin Shianchu stepped forward, the aura around him began to burst out, and a black airflow appeared on the long stick in his hand. Boom. The long stick was raised. Kill. He shouted and rushed towards Zhao. The long stick in his hand was like a long dragon, and he wanted to use his strength to directly shatter Zhao sword energy. Zhao face did not change, and he slashed with the long sword in his hand. Boom. The collision between the long sword and the long stick burst out a burst of energy. Then the two sides fought. For a while, only the shadows of the stick and the sword were seen. Zhao sword is not only good at attacking, but also good at defending. As for the ghost slave, his gloomy eyes looked at Zhu Zhengwo. Kill you first, then surround and kill Zhao. The ghost slave's figure turned into a black light, his palms turned into claws, and he went towards Zhu Zhengwo. Zhu Zhengwo did not retreat or avoid, his eyes were sharp, and he instantly shot out with a long spear in his hand. The long spear that was shot out was extremely sharp and formed a vortex, blocking the energy of the palm, and then collided with the opponent's claws, making a series of golden sword sounds. Zhu Zhengwo's eyes were fixed. He didn't expect the opponent's claws to be as hard as golden iron. On the other side, the ghost slave's face changed. He didn't expect the opponent's speed of attack to catch up with him. The speed of attack increased, and the momentum on his body began to change. There is still a big gap between the heaven and man realm and the unity of spirit and soul. Heaven and man, they have comprehended the momentum of heaven and earth. The momentum can suppress others. Let the opponent be unable to exert his own strength under his momentum. The ghost slave who failed to hit the first blow attacked again, and the momentum suppressed Zhu Zhengwo. The claw went to Zhu Zhengwo's face. Zhu Zhengwo's ki was suppressed, and his eyes were fixed. But his mind began to change under this pressure. Zhu Zhengwo practiced the way of the spear. His unique skill was a stunning shot. He could kill his opponent with one shot. When fighting with this ghost slave, he did not use his unique skill. He wanted to find an opportunity to kill with one shot. Boom. Under this pressure, Zhu Zhengwo fired a shot. The spear collided with the opponent's palm, and the ghost slave's palm directly grabbed Zhu Zhengwo's spear. The powerful ki suppressed the spear. Then he suddenly grabbed Zhu Zhengwo, trying to grab him with the spear, and then pierced Zhu Zhengwo's throat with one shot. The huge pulling force. Zhu Zhengwo's body could not help but move towards the opponent. But when he was about to reach the contact range of the ghost slave's palm, Zhu Zhengwo's eyes were fixed, and a key appeared in his palm. Suddenly, the grabbed spear instantly rotated, and directly shook the ghost slave's palm away. He immediately unleashed a stunning shot. Everyone only felt the spear fly out instantly, like a meteor, directly piercing through the ghost slave's body, and then nailed to the wall. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 210. Kill Ni Kunlun and Zhao with a stunning sword. Drop by drop, blood dripped from the tip of the gun. It made those who had not recovered for a while come back to their senses. After being suppressed, Zhu Zhengwo actually shot out a shot, piercing the ghost slave's body directly. And that shot was too fast, and the power was even stronger. What a sharp shot. Ordinary people who are in danger may be killed if they don't pay attention. Meng Shentang said with a condensed look beside Mei Zuanshan. Ha ha. At this time, Zhu Zhengwo took a deep breath. He raised his palm, and the long gun nailed to the wall was instantly sucked into his hand. Then he used the long gun to hold his body. He consumed all the strength in his body in the attack on the ghost slave just now. At this time, there were only two parties fighting at the scene. One side was Lian Kuang and Duan Qinggaya. The other side was Zhao and Qin Shianchu. The two were in the battle, but they also sensed the changes in the ghost slave. When the ghost slave was killed by Zhu Zhengwo's shot, Lian Kuang and Qin Shianchu were both moved. They didn't expect that the ghost slave in the heavenly realm would be killed by Zhu Zhengwo. Zhu Zhengwo was only the soul and spirit merged. I want you to die. At this moment, Ni Kunlun made a move. He soared into the air, raised his right hand, and shot 5 silver needles directly at Zhu Zhengwo. His left hand sent 5 silver needles towards Jing Wuming. He made a sudden move at a very fast speed. He didn't give people a chance to react. He couldn't help it. The ghost demon mansion lost a soul and spirit merged, and a heavenly realm strongman. This shook the foundation of their ghost demon mansion. There were 3 heavenly realm strongmen in the ghost demon mansion, his father, the ghost slave, and Qin Leo. This was why the ghost demon mansion was able to suppress the Gile building. It was because they had one more heavenly realm strongman than the Gile building. Now that this advantage was broken, how could he not be angry? So he directly attacked Zhu Zhengwo. At this time, there was also the injured Afeni besides Zhu Zhengwo. The two seemed to have no ability to resist. As for the other side, Jing Wuming was holding a sword to block the silver needle shot at him. Zhu Zhengwo and Afeni's faces changed. But in the next moment, a black shadow rushed out directly, and the long sword in his hand slashed out, and the sword energy hit the silver needle, and the silver needle was chopped down by the sword energy. Go out. It was Su Chen who made the move. Although Zhu Zhengwo and Afei might block the silver needle, but we have to be prepared for any eventuality, so Su Chen directly used Zhu Yiren's experience card. Su Chen was not unfamiliar with this experience card. After all, he had experienced Liu Shengyejian before, and Liu Shengyejian was somewhat similar to Zhu Yiren's swordsmanship. Or it can be said that the sword arts are similar, both of which are death sword intent. When Su Chen walked out, a sharp sword energy burst out from him. This sword energy was bloody. How many people do you have to kill to have such a bloody sword energy? Seeing Su Chen appear, some people said in horror. Zhu Yiren is also known as the blood-clothed man, killing people unpredictably, taking deadly ghosts. This is Zhu Yiren. Su Chen used Zhu Yiren's experience card, so Zhu Yiren's murderous and bloody aura burst out. Who are you? Looking at Su Chen who appeared, Ni Kunlun's eyes turned cold. Hatred flashed in his eyes. If this person hadn't appeared, Zhu Zhengwo and Afei might have died under his silver needle. Meet the Dragon Head Envoy. At this time, Zhu Zhengwo, Afei, and Jing Wuming saluted Su Chen. Dragon Head Envoy. Hearing the words of the three, the Jianghu guests present were all stunned. King Longhu, it is rumored that there are 7 dragon heads and 12 hall masters. The Dragon Head Envoy is the person next to the Dragon Head. This is a big shot. Uncle Meng, how strong is he? Mei Zuanshang sent a voice message to Meng Shentang. But he didn't get a reply from Meng Shentang, and his eyes couldn't help but look at Meng Shentang, who was staring at Su Chen at this time. It seemed that he wanted to see something. I can't detect his strength. But from the sword energy he just used, this person hasn't entered the state of unity of soul and spirit. Meng Shentang said in a deep voice. He hasn't entered the state of unity of soul and spirit. Mei Zuanshang's eyes condensed. The bloody murderous aura on the other party was so fierce that she felt pressured, but Meng Shentang said that the other party's strength had not yet reached the state of unity of soul and spirit. Dragon Head Envoy. Ni Kunlun's eyes changed. He didn't expect that the person who appeared was actually the Dragon Head Envoy of the Qinglang Society. Bang! Just as he was thinking, Su Chen, who was standing, kicked the ground with his feet and shot towards Ni Kunlun. The long sword in his hand also stabbed out in an instant. The speed of the sword energy tore everything apart. Ni Kunlun sensed this and quickly retreated. But Su Chen's sword energy followed him like a shadow and directly pierced Ni Kunlun's chest. Ah! Ni Kunlun let out a shrill scream. After piercing the other party's chest, Su Chen withdrew his long sword. Blood splattered. Plop. Ni Kunlun knelt on the ground, holding his chest with his right hand. He wanted to stop the blood from gushing out, but it was useless. Su Chen pierced his heart with a sword. He had no chance of survival. Ni Kunlun, holding his chest, glanced at Su Chen, and then looked at Duan Qinggai who was fighting with Lai Yan Kuang. This failure was not because of how strong the Qinglang club was. It was because of Duan Qinggai's betrayal. Duan Qinggai, you will not die well. After saying that, Ni Kunlun fell directly to the ground. kill the young master of the ghost demon mansion and get one orange lottery card, one blue lottery card. Su Chen got the reward. As expected, he got the reward for killing the ghost demon mansion master, and it was 2 lottery cards. Su Chen was a little happy in his heart. Of course, no one noticed it because he was wearing a mask. Looking at Nikunlin lying on the ground, Su Chen shook his head. He thought there were other masters around Nikunlin. He just wanted to test it. Unexpectedly, there were really none. At this time, on the other side, Xiaoqiushu separated from Qin Qianchu. Qin Qianchu looked at Nikunlin who was lying on the ground, and his eyes were startled. But he didn't dare to pay more attention. Because Xiaoqiushu on the opposite side suddenly raised his sword, and the sword energy around him quickly went towards the long sword in his hand. Take my sword, this sword. If you survive, you can leave. Xiaoqiushu said coldly. He was waiting to see if there were other masters in ambush on the other side. But now that Nikunlin has been killed, there must be no masters in the dark. So he decided to strike with all his strength and kill this. Qin Qianchu sensed the change in the sword energy on Xiaoqiushu. His eyes became solemn. The energy around him surged, and the black flame-like energy flowed through him, and the long stick he held tightly was also spreading black flames. He would not wait for Xiaoqiushu to draw his sword. Crazy demon stick righteousness. Shocking sword. Both sides attacked at the same time. One side was accompanied by black light and flames, and the violent force made the air vibrate. On the other side, the sword energy condensed, and a sword slashed out to shake the earth. Swish. The sword light and the stick shadow collided. The sword light tore through the stick shadow, and then directly slashed at Qin Qianchu's body. Qin Qianchu's body was directly cut in half by the sword. The body and the iron stick in his hand fell to the ground. Chapter 211. Ghost Mansion, Paradise Building, Target. On the street, a large carriage was moving forward. The night seemed very quiet. There were already layers of white snow on the street, and the wheels left a little mark on the white snow. The white snow continued to fall, trying to cover the marks left by the road. Inside the carriage, young pavilion master, I want to concentrate on retreat these days and step into the unity of spirit and soul. I want to temporarily hand over the Golden Wind and Rain Tower in Lingnan County to Nalan Rangan. Bei Chaofei bowed in the carriage and said. Nalan Rangan, who was next to Bei Chaofei, looked nervous at this time, and did not dare to look up. The person opposite was wearing a hat, with a black cloth covering his face, and the exposed eyes were also covered by the hat, so it was impossible to see anything from the details. So Nalan Rangan was very smart, and lowered her head. Okay. Su Chen nodded. He recognized Nalan Rangan's talent. He was able to save Times Hall under the attack of Heffen Hall and Byungsun. And after Bei Chaofei came to her, she decisively joined the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Both her decision making and skills were extraordinary. Thank you, young pavilion master. Nalan Rangan saluted Su Chen upon seeing this. The 9 northern counties are now in turmoil, which is an opportunity for the Golden Wind and Rain Pavilion to expand. Shangguan Jinhang has entered the Heavenly Man realm, and the weapon awarded to him by the pavilion has been obtained. It is time for him to show his edge. As for Guan Qi, he should also show up. Warriors should bravely fight in the era. Su Chen said. These people who appeared are all the geniuses of an era. If they are not used, it will destroy their warrior spirit. I understand. Bei Chaofei said. Young pavilion master, there may be some action from the Qinglang Temple. The Qinglang Temple has occupied the 9 northern provinces for a long time, and is so powerful that it is terrifying. I'm afraid that the plans of the several princes this time may not be realized. Nalan Rangan bowed and said. Nalan Rangan was born in the 9 northern counties, and has been collecting intelligence on Lingnan County. They have a deep understanding of the Qinglang Temple. The Qinglang Temple is very strong. In fact, she wanted to persuade the Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower not to participate in this matter. Instead, it should develop in secret. But the words of the young pavilion master just now meant to compete. Although she knew she shouldn't say it, she still reminded him. The Qinglang Temple is very strong, but our Xian'an Pavilion is not weak either. You don't have to worry about it. Su Chen said. He will try his best to get some high-level characters here to increase the foundation in this area. While speaking, Su Chen stood up, lifted the curtain, and jumped away. looking at the figure leaving and the falling curtain. The young master has recognized you. Do a good job. Lingnan County may just be the beginning. Bei Chaofei said. Nalan Rangan nodded and sat aside. The carriage continued to move towards the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. The night was silent. The cold wind brought snowflakes continuously falling, making the entire Lingnan County city feel cold and lonely. But the first deputy building owner of Jile Tower, Duan Kingaya, defected from the Qinglang Society. The young master of Gisha Mansion and Tushanren realm powerhouses fell. The news of the life and death of the third deputy building owner of Jile Tower spread quickly. This shocked people, and at the same time, they gave rise to a deeper recognition of the Qinglang Society. Rumors are rumors. If they don't appear, it's hard for some people to believe. This time, the second Hall Master appeared, and there was also a special envoy of the Dragon Head, showing more characters of the Qinglang Society. Lingnan County. In the county magistrate's mansion. In an open room. Zhe Xiaonan stood in the house, looking at the county magistrate Wen Yifan, who stood at the door in front of him with his hands behind his back. Xiaonan, you want to take action against the Golden Wind and Rain Tower? Wen Yifan said, looking at the falling snowflakes outside. Yes, the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower has been very active recently. They should know that Byung-Sun is a force I secretly control, yet they still dare to interfere. If the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower is not suppressed, they will become even more unscrupulous. Zhe Xiaonan said in a deep voice. Helion Zioyao is in contact with the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. Helion Zioyao can be said to be a figure from our faction. I'm still waiting for the people from the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower to meet me. If their people come, you should show up too. Wen Yifan said. Of course, he was somewhat displeased with the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower in his heart. Hearing Wen Yifan's words, Zhe Xiaonan's face lit up. Wen Yifan was going to directly reveal his identity. It meant that his position in Wen Yifan's heart had been further improved. Wen Yifan had been dormant in Lingnan County for so many years, but in fact he had big ambitions. He wanted to become the governor of the 9 northern counties. Now the governor of the 9 northern counties is the eldest prince's man. As long as there is a problem with the Qinglang Temple, the position of the governor of the 9 northern armies will definitely be Wen Yifan. Just now, Li Wei came to see me and talked about Helion Zioyao coming to see me a few days ago. It seems that he thought that it was my instruction for the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower to attack the Hefen Hall. You should have an ale planted next to Li Wei. Let Li Wei take action to suppress the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower first. Wen Yifan said. Understood. Zhe Xiaonan nodded. At this time, a man in a green robe walked in from outside. Master, Lord Zhe, news came from Yunhu Villa that the actions of Gisha Mansion and Jile Tower failed. The young master of Gisha Mansion, Jiuino and Qin Qianchu, Lin Shengnan are dead or alive. The third deputy master of Jile Tower is dead or alive, and the first deputy master defected to Qinglang Club. The man spoke. Hearing the words of the man, Wen Yifan and Zhe Xiaonan showed a slight look of astonishment on their faces. Jiuino and Qin Qianchu are strong men in the realm of heaven and man. Although they are only in the first difficulty of heaven and man, they are real strong men in the realm of heaven and man. How many strong men in the realm of heaven and man appeared in Qinglang Club? Zhe Xiaonan asked. 1. Only Zhao Qiaiyushu, but Zhu Zhengwo, the master of Eraiu Hall of Qinglang Club appeared. His strength is close to the realm of heaven and man. Under the suppression, he found an opportunity and shot through Jiuino. Duan Qingaya had previously defected and killed Lin Shengnan of Gisha Mansion, and finally killed Lian Kuang, the third deputy owner of Jile Tower. Zhao Qiaiyushu performed a sword move called Jingshan Yijian, and killed Qin Qianchu. The visitor explained the situation at that time. Sir, this Qinglang Society is a little unusual. We need to pay attention to it, Zhe Xiaonan said solemnly after listening. The Qinglang Society and Jinfengxiu Tower are both targets we need to pay attention to. This time, several princes took action together. The 7th prince and the 3rd prince were the main force, and the other princes were also eyeing them covetously. I'm afraid that the appearance of this Qinglang Society and Jinfengxiu Tower at this time will be related to the other princes. After this incident, Jiuao Shenjin should contact the Qinglang Society. You should also start to contact the Qinglang Society, mainly to test the waters. If there are any problems with the money, find Butler Liu. When Yifan said, "Don't worry, sir, I will do it," Zhe Xianan then bowed and left. After Zhe Xianan left, the man in green robe in the room said, "Sir, will the Qinglang Association's actions affect the actions of Gishimanshan and Jile Tower? It can't have an impact. Jile Tower and Gishimanshan are just targets for the people of Qinglang Temple to hit. The real action is from the other two major forces. By the way, how is your contact with Guanxi and Chao of the Sword Alliance going?" When Yifan asked, "We have contacted him, but Guanxi and Chao hopes that you will meet him in person," said the man in green robe. Chapter 212, Zuzai Warren, the dilemma between heaven and man. "If he wants to see me, then arrange it. I also want to see how strong Guanxi and Chao is now. Is it worth my investment?" When Yifan said, "Yes, then I will go down to arrange it." The man in green robe bowed and retreated. When Yifan stood at the door, looking at the falling snow outside, thinking, he has been silent in Lingnan County for too long. It's time to show his strength. Hiding for too long will make people ignore his existence. The next day, the sky and the earth were all white. Su Chen stood with his hands behind his back, standing on the attic of the leader of Shan sect, looking at the buildings outside covered with snow, feeling relaxed and happy. There are still few masters in Shan sect. It seems that we can't just rely on the promotion of the elders in Shan sect. We need to recruit some strong people. Su Chen thought to himself. His current identity is the leader of Shan sect, and no one doubts the development of Shan sect. Turned and entered the house. There were 3 paintings on the desk in the house. The first one was 2 men in grey clothes. From their faces, they looked like brothers. There is an introduction below. The 2 strange swordsmen are good at swordsmanship. Their swordsmanship is weird and makes people unable to find the traces. They are famous casual swordsmen in the 9 northern counties. Their strength is at the peak of the soul refining realm. The following is an introduction to some of the deeds of the 2 strange swordsmen. It can be said that they are 2 people who do whatever they want. The second picture is a person wearing black clothes and black robes, codenamed Shadow, a personal killer. The most outstanding thing about this shadow is his body movement. Under the setting sun, a shadow is left. As for the introduction, this person has killed 329 people. No one has seen him, and no one knows who he is. As for the strength, it is speculated that he is at the peak of soul refining. The third picture is a burly man with bulging muscles all over his body. He is a master of body refining. His name is Qiu Hensheng, and his practice is called Chilian Sandgong. Killing relies on his hands. He has been practicing hard in the mountains, and his strength is also in the late stage of soul refining. Why are there these 3 pictures? It is mainly because Su Chen is preparing to recruit these people. Directly recruiting summoned characters will cause some suspicion, but when recruiting these people, recruiting some other strong people, it will reduce these suspicions. "Come here," Su Chen said in a low voice. "Master." Cui Wu, who walked in from outside the building and bowed. "Go to Jinfeng Xiu Tower to buy the information of these 3 people. Ask for their whereabouts. Spend a lot of money and recruit them to our Shanman," Su Chen said. Cui Wu, who stepped forward and collected the 3 portraits and said, "What if these 3 people do not accept our recruitment? Then find a way to get rid of them." Su Chen said, "Judging from some triggering situations, if you kill some people or do something special, you will get some rewards." Yesterday he got an orange lottery card, and he has been thinking about collecting another orange lottery card recently. As for white and blue, Su Chen doesn't have much desire now. If you want to draw orange. Once you draw someone, he must have entered the realm of heaven and man. Of course, there will be some blue in the later stage. After all, the strong people in the unity of spirit and soul and the realm of soul refining are the foundation of Lingnan County and the 9 northern counties. "Yes, I understand," Cui Wu, who said. Now Su Chen is getting more and more powerful. He has some pressure facing Su Chen. As for Su Chen recruiting strong men, this is not surprising to him, as many sects do this. Self-development is one aspect, and recruiting some warriors is also very important. Of course, the strength of the sect must be able to suppress the recruiters. Go ahead and keep a close eye on the movements of the 9 northern counties. Report any news immediately. Su Chen waved his hand. Cui Woohoo bowed and retreated. Cui Woohoo stepped out of the room with excitement on his face. Recruiting warriors means that the headmaster does not want Shanman to stop. Cui Woohoo has more respect for Su Chen in his heart. Headmaster, I will definitely help you recruit them. If they do not accept your recruitment, I will kill them. Cui Woohoo said in his heart. Shanman Cui Woohoo is loyal to you and will be rewarded with 1 orange lottery card. In the house, Su Chen was a little surprised. He did not expect to hear such a voice and get such a reward at this time. 2 orange lottery cards may be able to draw this orange lottery card. Su Chen thought in his heart. Then he drew it. Congratulations on getting the character card Zuzioran. Congratulations on getting 3 10-year and 8 key character infusion cards. Zuzioran, 3 10-year and 8 key character infusion cards. Su Chen was delighted. Although he didn't get to character cards at once, Su Chen was still happy when a character appeared. Zuzioran, a character in Chuliuxiang, the younger brother of Zhu Yiren, the world's #1 swordsman, who practices a killing sword and is the leader of the killer organization Skynet. In the TV series, Zuzioran's strength is even stronger than Zhu Yiren. Check Zuzioran's strength. The second difficulty of the heavenly realm. Orange cards are really good. Su Chen thought to himself. Then he paid attention to the 3 10-year and 8 key character infusion cards. They can be infused into the summoned characters for use. Thinking of this, Su Chen's heart moved. Bei Chaofei of Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, Bei Xianyu who appeared earlier, and Jing Wuming of King Langhu. If they get this 10-year key, they may directly achieve the unity of spirit and soul and touch the threshold of heaven. As for Fei, he has already realized the unity of soul and spirit, so I believe that some pills will be enough. Thinking of this, Su Chen directly used the infusion card for the 2 of them. King Cheng, Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. Bei Xianyu is in charge here, and now no one in King Cheng is his opponent. So he is practicing his swordsmanship. As for Du Guwudi, he is now outside the Great Wall. Suddenly, he felt a force constantly erupting in his body, and his strength continued to rise, directly from the soul refining realm to the unity of soul and spirit. These internal forces seemed to be natural. There was no sense of disobedience. His eyes opened instantly, shooting out a sharp light, and the long sword in his hand trembled. The unity of soul and spirit combined with the sword in his hand. Even if he encountered an ordinary heaven and man difficulty, he can still kill it. Bei Chaofei of Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower had just stepped into his bedroom. He planned to practice in seclusion after tomorrow to see if he could break through the unity of soul and spirit. But a force surged into his body without any signs and directly stepped into the unity of soul and spirit. It seems that I don't need to retreat, but I'll retreat secretly and observe Melan Rangan. Bei Chaofei said in a deep voice. At this time, in another place, a Fei was carried by Jing Wuming back to the manor of the Qinglan Club Zengaiu Hall. I'll go to heal my wounds first. This time, I may enter the Soul Spirit Union before you. A Fei looked at Jing Wuming and said. Although the previous plan was interrupted, he also understood something, so he could enter the Soul Spirit Union with the help of the elixir. As soon as the voice fell, putting him down, Jing Wuming's aura rose, and the aura of the Soul Spirit Union was directly displayed. I entered before you. After saying that, Jing Wuming turned and walked out of the room. A Fei looked at Jing Wuming who left like this, and his face turned pale. Chapter 213. Qinglan Temple. People show up. Levy invites. Outside the city of Lingnan County, in a small temple, a figure walked in from outside the small temple. The person was wearing a bamboo hat and a brocade robe. Under the bamboo hat, a black veil hung, covering his face. Only the outline of his face could be vaguely seen. As soon as this figure appeared, a monk holding a stick walked out from the dark. A bronze token appeared in the hand of the black-clothed man, and a word of Buddha was engraved on the token. Please. The monk saw this and waved his hand. The person walked directly into the small temple. Deep inside the small temple, there was a hall. In the hall, 3 monks in cassocks were sitting on benches. The three of them were holding red Buddhist beads, with burly figures, exuding a strong bloody aura, and showing a fierce look on their faces, without any Buddhist compassion. After the brocade-robed man entered the hall, he took off the bamboo hat on his head. It turned out to be Li Wei, the left governor of Lingnan County. Meet the three venerables. Li Wei saluted the three people. The three monks sitting in the hall are the three senior monks of the Qinglan Temple. Their names are Duyan, Duxun, and Duhei. Levi, we asked you to come here this time, to help us find the whereabouts of Jihuayao Shenjin. The monk Duhei said. Jihuayao Shenjin is in a village called Dazu village outside the city. It is a stronghold of Hanyu sect. Li Wei said. As a person affiliated with Qinglan Temple, he must always pay attention to the changes in the war situation. Jihuayao Shenjin appeared in Lingnan County, his territory. He must know where the other party is, so he has been exploring, and found his traces. Is it there? This time I will personally crush the head of Jihuayao Shenjin. Hearing this, the monk Duhei showed a ferocious look on his face. Don't be careless. This Jihuayao god is someone beside the 7th prince. He is very powerful. There should be experts around him. Otherwise, senior brother Dunan and the others would not have died. What has happened to Wen Yifan in Lingnan County recently? Monk Du Zuan beside him said. Wen Yifan has been living in seclusion. Recently, he has had contact with Helian Zioyao from the capital's pacification department. He may want to attack me, Li Wei said in a deep voice. Although Jinfeng Xiao Tower also attacked Biangsun, and he also met Wen Yifan, he had already determined in his heart that Jinfeng Xiao Tower was instructed by Wen Yifan. Wen Yifan is a member of the Wen family and cannot be moved for the time being. Hearing Wen Yifan's words, Du Zuan shook his head. Several princes are already threatening His Highness the First Prince. Do you still care about these? Li Wei asked in a deep voice. I don't care about these. Once Wen Yifan dies, the Wen family will counterattack, and then I'm afraid that many people like you in the 9 northern counties will die. The leading monk said. Master Du Zuan meant to let Wen Yifan go. Now the basic forces in Lingnan County are secretly controlled by them. My power is now only below the county city. If we don't stop it, we will lose Lingnan County, Li Wei said in a deep voice. The 3 Qinglan Du who were killed in Lingayu sword sect before were just 3 people of the Du generation who were active in Qinglan Temple on a daily basis. There are many other high monks of the Du generation. These 3 people are the elders of the punishment court in Qinglan Temple. They are on the road of killing monks. In fact, from the aura emanating from them, it can be seen that these 3 people are fierce monks. This time, Qinglan Temple sent these 3 people to take the life of Jihuayao Shenjin. Wen Yifan has been seeking the 9 northern counties and wants to become the governor of the 9 counties. Whether he will become the governor or not, he will not stay in the position of Lingnan County. Then Zhe Xiaonan should be the person he has taken a fancy to. When the time comes, we will help you get rid of him. The leading monk Du Yuan said. Thank you, Master Du Yuan, but I already have a way to deal with Zhe Xiaonan. Li Wei thanked him immediately. Anyway, the monk Du Yuan asked with some doubt. There have been some changes in Shanmen recently. A young man has become the head of Shanmen. This young man has some relationship with Changhan Palace and Princess Qingchen. With the help of many Zuanshan of Changhan Palace, we took down Xian sect. Now it is very powerful. Zhe Xiaonan has always wanted to control Shanmen. I will cooperate with the head of Shanmen to get rid of Zhe Xiaonan, Li Wei said. Although Li Wei rarely leaves the house like Wen Yifan, Li Wei knows more about the things in Lingnan County than Wen Yifan. After all, Li Wei is a representative of the local forces. Shanmen. When Monk Du Yuan heard about Shanmen, his eyes couldn't help but look at each other, but he didn't say anything else. Do as you say. We will do our best to deal with Jihuayao Shenjin in the next few days. As long as Jihuayao Shenjin dies, their first wave of attack will be considered a failure, Monk Du Yuan said. After hearing Du Yuan's words, Li Wei bowed and left. After Li Wei left, the monk Du Yuan said, Dahu Dharma King may have died in the Shanmen area. After this incident, we also need to go to Shanmen, hoping to gain something. Brother, wouldn't it be better to let Li Wei do this? He is preparing to contact the head of the Shanmen, Monk Duhei said. The new head of the Shanmen has some relationship with Changhan Palace and Princess Qingchen. Once he leaks this news, it will be difficult for us to find the Tripitaka of life and death and the relics. Now my Qinglang temple is surrounded by enemies, and we need to be careful about everything. Monk Duan said. We are leaving for Dazu village now, and we will take action as soon as we find Jiao Shenzhen. Duan said with a fierce murderous intent on his face. Then the three of them left the small temple. The small temple continued to become quiet. Inside the Shanman. Master, there is a person who claims to be from the residence of the left governor and wants to see you. At this time, a disciple came to the master's hall to report. Left Governor Li Wei. Su Chen frowned slightly. He had no intersection with Li Wei, so why did Li Wei send someone to contact him? Please let him in. Su Chen waved his hand and said. After a while, a man wearing a cotton coat and feeling a little cold walked into the hall. Meet Master Su. The man bowed and saluted after entering. I wonder why you are here? Su Chen asked. This is our master, who wants me to hand it to Master Su in person. As for the content, I don't know. The man said. Su Chen took the letter. He opened it directly, and seeing the content of the letter, Su Chen frowned. But then he said to the person who came, tell your master that I will be there on time. The man bowed and left the hall. Looking at the person who left, Su Chen muttered, since this left governor wants to invite me, I wonder what it is for. The letter was actually an invitation, inviting Su Chen to meet at Bachin Tower in Lingnan County tonight. Although he didn't know what this left governor wanted to do, he decided to go and have a chat. Chapter 214. The three killing monks surround and kill the 9 nether god. Outside the city, in the dilapidated village, Zihan and Long Pio were in the middle house. Has Lord Jiao returned? Zihan asked. Not yet. I guess he's waiting for news from Gisha Mansion and Gild Tower. Long Pio said. It looks like Gisha Mansion and Gild Tower are doomed. Once they take action, Qinglang Temple will definitely be the first to take action against them. But Gisha Mansion has some ideas. They let Ni Kunlun come forward to deal with Qinglang society. They want to use this momentum to change the reputation of Gisha Mansion into a force. In this way, the 7th prince will have ideas and will not abandon them. But man proposes, God disposes. They are lost. If they lose, they will have no way out. So once they take action, they will definitely become the target of Qinglang Temple's strangling. What will be left of Gisha Mansion and Gild Tower after the strangling? Zihan shook her head. Miss, I don't understand why Xiao Li of Gild Tower didn't make any move when the ghost demon mansion could foresee such a thing. Xiao Li is a man of deep thoughts and hard to figure out. He shouldn't let himself become the target of Qinglang Temple's strangling. The dragon lady beside her said. Xiao Li had no choice, or maybe he did choose. He chose to ask for money. After one move, Xiao Li might take his people away from the 9 northern counties. As long as there are people and money, his killer organization will still exist. In fact, Xiao Li's approach is right. Zihan said in a deep voice. In this case, the 9 Lingnan counties will be dominated by the Qinglang society alone. Could it be that the Qinglang society is also the 7th prince's people? The dragon lady said with some doubts. This Qinglang society is definitely not the 7th prince's power, but they and Jinfeng Xiao Tower may be forces invited by other princes. But after this time, the 9 northern counties will be in chaos. It won't be as they think. Zihan shook her head. Some things are not for you to worry about. At this time, a voice came from outside the door, and then a black figure appeared on the chair in the hall. Greetings, Lord God. Zihan and Long Pio bowed. I want you to help me contact Xiao Qiushu of the Qinglang Society and tell him that I want to meet him and do a business with him. Jiao God said. Okay, I will help Lord God contact the other party. Zihan said. After that, she followed Long Pio out of the room. However, the two did not leave the village, but entered a smaller room. There was a secret passage to leave the village. Jiao God is strong. But this is the territory of Qinglang Temple, and they also have spies, so it is better to be careful. Not long after Zihan and the others stepped into the hut, 3 people wearing blood-colored cassocks came from outside the village, holding huge blood-colored Buddhist beads, and walked towards the yard. At this time, someone discovered the 3 people and wanted to send a signal. but a Buddhist bead directly pierced the other person's throat and nailed it to the ground. Then the person who made the move sucked the Buddha beads into his hand. The three continued to move forward, but no one came out to stop them, because they were afraid of death. Of course, the main reason was that the opponent was too strong, and one blow killed one person in seconds. If you are the enemy, you will die, so it is better to stay away from him. The three continued to move forward, and suddenly all their eyes were focused on the house in the middle of the village. Jihuayao Shenjin, the smell like a rat has finally been smelled. This is the base of the Hanyu sect, so let's destroy it directly. Boom. Monk Duhei said. Although there is a word Hei in his name, this Monk Duhei practiced a fire attributed technique. Fiery sky blazing sword. He raised his hand, and the flame energy flowed in his palm, and he chopped directly at the house in front of him. The village here is decorated with thatched houses. Under this flame energy, it started to burn directly. Some people hiding inside ran out quickly, but what they faced was a stream of flame energy. Screams and blood filled the village. In the middle of the village, the masked nine nether evil lord rushed out, and when he saw the three people, his eyes revealed a ferocious light. I didn't expect Qinglang Temple to send you here. I really want to see how strong Qinglang Temple's monk killers are. Jihuayao Godlord didn't think about leaving, but said coldly, then use your life to see. The monk Duhei kicked the ground with his foot, and his body soared into the air, and slashed at the nine nether godlord with a knife, and the blade light formed by the flame energy instantly fell down. When Duhei made a move, the monk Duzuan on the side made a move, and his body also shot out. A golden energy appeared in his palm. The great evolution dragon steely hand. The palm grabbed out, opened and closed, like a giant dragon's claws, exuding a fierce and heavy breath. This attack was extremely fast and sharp. The nine nether godlord first resisted Duhei's flame energy with the palm. Then his body quickly retreated to avoid the attack of the monk Duzuan. Bang! The key generated in the palm of Duzuan monk grabbed the spot directly. The ground was immediately covered with dust, and then, Duzuan monk grabbed with his palm, and the dust flew directly towards Jihuayao Shenjin. Jihuayao Shenjin, who had revealed his eyes, suddenly shrank his pupils. He slapped his palms. He wanted to scatter the dust, but at this time, the figure of Duhei monk had already rushed in front of the other party. He clenched his palms into fists. Bang! A punch was thrown out, and the powerful fist appeared in front of Jihuayao Shenjin with the sound of air bursting. Jihuayao Shenjin hurriedly slapped his palm, and collided with the other party's fist. The two forces collided, and the two figures retreated at the same time, but Jihuayao Shenjin, who was in a hurry, retreated more steps. It's worthy of being Jihuayao Shenjin. In a hurry, you can still take my punch. You are about to pass the three difficulties of heaven and man. The monk Duhei said in a deep voice. The killer monks in the punishment court of Qinglang Temple are indeed extraordinary. I wonder where you rank in the punishment court. Jihuayao Godlord looked at the three people and said. Of course, his mind was mainly focused on the monk Duhuan who had not made a move. Although this monk Duhuan had not made a move, he had been staring at him. As long as he showed a flaw, this person would make a move. Moreover, the aura on the other party was infinitely close to the third level of heaven and man. We are just ordinary monks in the punishment court. The monk Duhuan who had not made a move said. As he spoke, a series of serial noises appeared on his body. When these noises appeared, or thunder and evil force appeared on the monk Duhuan. 9 thunder and evil strikes. Monk Duhuan made a move, and his fist was full of thunder and evil force. Fierce and domineering. The other two did not stop, and the three joined forces. Jihuayao Godlord could only resist. Not far outside the village, Zihanu and Long Po, who came out of a secret cave, looked back at the direction of the previous village. They saw the thick smoke in the village. His expression suddenly changed. Oh no, something happened in the base. Zihanu turned around, and was about to go back, but was stopped by Long Po. It should be the Qinglang Temple that took action. Jihuayao Shenjin may be in danger. Let's go into the secret passage first, and come out later. After saying that, he pulled Zihanu directly into the secret passage. Chapter 215, Fishing and Being Fished. The golden plum vase appears. In a secret room. A few people who looked embarrassed appeared in front of Zihanu. Where are the others? The others were killed by those 3 people, one of them said in panic. The 3 people from Qinglang Temple left them with no ability to resist. If Jihuai Shenjin had not appeared at that time, they would not have been able to escape. Who attacked? Zihan Yu asked. The 3 killer monks, Du Yuan, Du Zuan and Du Hei from the Punishment Institute of Qinglang Temple attacked. The disciple replied. It was them. I didn't expect that Qinglang Temple would send the 3 of them to come. This is not giving Jihuai Shenjin a chance to leave. I hope Jihuai Shenjin can escape. We will leave first and let the rest of us investigate the situation here. I believe the movement here should attract a lot of spies, Zihan Yu said. After that, she led the people to evacuate quickly. In fact, in her mind, Jihuai Shenjin might not be able to evacuate. Of course, she also hoped that Jihuai Shenjin could have other means, or someone else would help Jihuai Shenjin. At this time, the movement outside the city, it has attracted the attention of many people. Now among the 9 counties in the north, Lingnan County is the starting point of the outbreak, so many people are paying attention to the situation everywhere. Someone quickly came to investigate. As the investigation progressed, the news of the battle here was quickly spread by pigeons. Some warriors with some strength came one after another. At this time on the battlefield, Jihuai Shenjin had a solemn expression, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His eyes could not help but look at the monk Duan who was standing aside, and did not attack again after one attack. Just now, this monk Duan attacked and joined the other 2 to injure him with one blow. Although the injury was not serious, he could only barely resist the attacks of Duxun and Du Hei. Of course, he knew what these 3 people were waiting for. They were waiting for his people to appear. Otherwise, he would not be able to hold on until this time. But he also knew what the people here were thinking. They were waiting for them to lose both sides, and then the fisherman would benefit. I have to find a way to leave, Jihuai Shenjin thought to himself. Just as he was thinking, the monk Duan sneered. It seems that your helpers are not ready to take action, so I will get rid of you. He took a step forward, and the strong innate ki surged out of him. There was a ferocious look in his eyes. Then his fist blasted out, and the sharp ki was accompanied by the sound of thunderstorm. The first move was also a killing move. It seems that this monk Duan wanted to kill the opponent quickly. Why didn't he kill Jihuai Shenjin at the beginning? And he Duan only made a move before. In fact, he was testing Jihuai Shenjin's backhand, and wanted to see if there were other people hiding here. But when he made a move before, no one showed up. Perhaps it was because others knew that monk Duan could not kill Jihuai Shenjin with one blow. And then it has been dragged until now. Monk Duan wanted the people in the dark to think that they were fishing. Let the people in the dark be afraid. Now it has lasted for a while. He has confirmed some things. The fist with sharp ki made the pupils of Jihuai Shenjin shrink suddenly. He could sense the attack from monk Duan. This attack was even stronger than the previous one. The next moment, he suddenly extended his palm, and a black color appeared in his palm. He dodged his fist, and grabbed his arm with his 5 fingers. He wanted to grab monk Duan's arm. But at this time, monk Du Hei made a move. He clenched his palm and the violent fist force swept directly into his chest like a blazing flame. The face of the 9 nether god was condensed, and his body turned, and punched the opponent's fist. At this moment, monk Duxun's body shot out instantly, and the dragon roared in his palm. He made a move in an instant and hit the 9 nether god's chest directly. The 9 nether god was directly shocked and flew backwards. A mouthful of blood spurted out of his mouth. At this moment, monk Duan, who had made a move earlier, turned into lightning, and appeared in front of the opponent. He raised his palm, and pressed it directly into the opponent's chest. Bang! The palm was printed on the opponent's chest, and endless lightning directly poured into the opponent's heart. But at this moment, the 9 nether god made a claw with his palm, and directly grabbed the monk Duan's arm with his backhand. With a sudden pull, he pulled the monk's body in front of him. The other hand punched the opponent's chest, trying to pierce the opponent's heart. Seeing this, the monk Duan turned his body to avoid the punch. But the shoulder, where the punch was hit by the 9 nether god. Bang! The 2 of them flew backwards. Puff! The 9 nether god spit out blood again, and the monk Duan's shoulder was shattered, and one of the monk's arms fell down. At this moment, the monk Duhei held a long knife in his hand and slashed it directly. The heart in his chest was hit by lightning, and the nine-nether god could not move at all for a while. He was split in half by the huge flaming knife and fell to the ground. In the distance, the people watching the battle saw this situation, and the hearts of the people were filled with turmoil. The nine-nether god was solved by the people of the Qinglang Temple. Jiuao Shenzhen, who had entered the 3 difficulties of heaven and man, died in such a small place like Lingnan County. Brother, is your arm okay? The shoulder bone is broken. I'm afraid it will take a long time to recuperate. Monk Duyan said. Duhei walked to Monk Duyan and helped Monk Duyan to leave. Just as they were moving forward, 2 people wearing brown robes, one carrying a long sword and the other with bare hands. Both of them were very tall and strong, more than 8 feet tall, with red hair and a blood-red crescent on their cheeks. The breath they exuded made people feel suffocated. It can be said to be extremely deterrent. The spies watching the battle from a distance all felt a sense of oppression. It was as if they were not facing people, but fierce beasts. Red blood twin demons. I didn't expect that the people sent by the capital would be you. But why didn't you show up just now, and only show up now? Monk Duyan looked at the 2 people who appeared and said in a deep voice, the life and death of Lord Jiuao has nothing to do with us. As long as we kill you, we can get a large bounty. One of the 2 red-blooded demons spoke. While speaking, he circulated his ki, and a blood-colored breath flowed out of his body like a flame. It pressed towards the monk Duyan and the other 2. So you want to take advantage of others. But do you think you can benefit? At this time, the monk Duyan, whose shoulder was shattered earlier, showed a fierce look on his face. A white bottle appeared in his hand. A stream of air appeared in the bottle and flowed directly into his shoulder. Suddenly, the drooping arm began to move, and the power that the monk Duyan had consumed earlier was quickly replenished. Golden plum bottle. You actually brought out the golden plum bottle. Seeing this situation, the 2 demons who spoke earlier changed their faces and turned around to flee. However, the 3 people from Duyan did not seem to intend to let the 2 people leave and quickly chased after them. Chapter 216. The situation escalates, and money is spent to buy life. The golden plum bottle appeared. The people watching the battle in the dark quickly evacuated. It was rumored that the golden plum bottle could bring back the dead, but they didn't know it. But they saw that it could quickly recover from injuries and restore one's own strength. So they quickly spread the news. On the side of Shangate, Chen looked at the information sent by the pigeon. His eyes condensed. He was not too surprised that the people from Qinglang Temple appeared, but he was shocked that the people from Qinglang Temple showed up with the golden plum bottle. Judging from the situation triggered by the system, if he gets this golden plum bottle, I'm afraid there will be a lot of rewards. Of course, it's not just rewards. There is also the terrifying recovery power of this golden plum bottle. Anyone with some strength will go to grab it. At this time, Qinglang Temple suddenly released the golden plum bottle. Are they planning something? Chen murmured. He didn't believe that Qinglang Temple simply took out this golden plum bottle. There must be another purpose. At this time, a disciple walked in. Master, there is news from Changhan Palace. I hope you can go to Changhan Palace. The disciple bowed and said, looking to me at this time, it seems to be about the golden plum bottle. Could it be that the Qinglang Temple is diverting the attention of all parties? Maybe someone knows, but can't resist this temptation. Chen thought to himself. I know, you go down. Chen waved his hand. He was preparing to go to the appointment with the Left Governor Li Wei in the evening. He could go to see Mei Zuanshan of Changhan Palace first. But he also wanted the golden plum bottle. He would not give it to Mei Zuanshan. Then he returned to the table and issued an order. Send a pigeon to Jinfeng Xiao Tower and Qinglang Society. Let them pay full attention to the whereabouts of the golden plum bottle. If they can snatch this golden plum bottle, do their best to snatch it. At this time, the county magistrate's mansion. Wen Yifan's face was very bad. Helian Zioyao was standing next to him. As for the room, there was another person, the brocade-robed man Lu Chen who appeared earlier. His face was also not good. I didn't expect that Qinglang Temple would let the killer monks of the punishment court show up with the golden plum bottle at this time. The strength of these three people is both heavenly and human, and the more they kill, the more fierce they become. Their strength will become stronger as the killing time increases, and the terrifying recovery power of the golden plum bottle is added. These three people are simply fearless human-shaped beasts. It is almost impossible to get the golden plum bottle from them. But for a treasure like the golden plum bottle, as long as there is a slight chance, someone will take action. It is estimated that the people who cooperated with us before may also have their eyes on this golden plum bottle. They are probably on their way here and will not attack the previous target at all. Qinglang Temple's move was beyond our expectations. Lu Chen said. I'm not worried about this now, I'm worried about Qinglang Temple's counterattack in other aspects. Wen Yifan said in a deep voice. Qinglang Temple is very powerful. To be honest, if you want to deal with such a force, you must make huge sacrifices. But the several princes who took action were unwilling to do so. So when this matter was launched, the main purpose in the early stage was to weaken the strength of Qinglang Temple. After being weakened, they began to support other forces and suppress Qinglang Temple. In that way, Qinglang Temple would be slowly wiped out. But the last time Jihuai God joined forces with Shangguan Jinhang to kill several Shinran realm masters in Qinglang Temple, the situation escalated sharply. In addition, Jihuai God was killed this time. The 7th prince is in a dilemma. If you don't fight hard, when your own people are dead, who will help you? Spread the news that Shangguan Jinhang killed Zuanzin monk of Xianlang Temple. Wen Yifan said at this time. Since Qinglang Temple has taken action, he will find some opponents for the killing monks in Qinglang Temple. Jihuai God is dead, and Shangguan Jinhang can also become a target. Lure those three people out. Let those who covet the golden plum bottle attack these three people. Wen Yifan's move is not ruthless. Uncle Wen, this. Helian Xiaoyao hesitated and said. The origin of Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower is unknown, so we can test whether they are strong or not. Don't worry, Wen Yifan said. Seeing that Wen Yifan had made up his mind, Helian Xiaoyao could not say anything. He actually did not have the right to veto. But he knew that this matter would definitely bring bad consequences to him. No matter what, Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower would find him. Okay, there is nothing for you to do here, you go back first. Wen Yifan waved his hand to let Helian Xiaoyao leave. Helian Xiaoyao bowed and left. Looking at the back of Helian Xiaoyao leaving, Lu Chen said, young Marquis Helian, but just got in touch with Bei Chaofei of Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. By doing this, all his previous efforts have been wasted. Wen Yifan shook his head and said, this is a chess piece that can be used temporarily, why not use it? What's more, if Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower can't even stop this, then the Chianaya Pavilion behind him is a paper tiger. Of course, if they can stop it, we can give them more benefits. Isn't everything for the Jianghu forces for profit? Hearing Wen Yifan's words, Lu Chen nodded. Outside the mansion, young Marquis Helian's face became gloomy. Master, what happened? A woman in purple tights asked in the carriage. Wen Yifan, you want to use the Golden Wind and Rain Tower as bait to catch the 3 killer monks from the Qinglang Temple? Helian Xiaoyao asked in a deep voice. Hearing this, the woman in purple tights couldn't help but change her face. Young Marquis, you just got in touch with Bei Chaofei of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. If you use him now, I'm afraid that Bei Chaofei might attack you. Young Marquis, the woman in purple tights said. This is what I'm worried about. My power here can't stop Shangguan Jinhang's attack, so I have to leave Lingnan County temporarily. Helian Xiaoyao said. You tell Bei Chaofei this news, and give him 1 million taels of silver as an apology. I hope this can delay the time for the other party to kill me, so that I have a chance to leave. Helian Xiaoyao said. Go and do it. Helian Xiaoyao said, and took out a stack of silver bills from his arms. Looking at these silver bills, I felt a little painful. But there was no other way, so she could only use the money to buy some time. The purple-clad woman took the banknote from Helian Xiaoyao's hand, rushed out of the carriage, and disappeared on the street. On the other side, Helian Xiaoyao's carriage did not stop, and headed out of the city. The carriage was very fast. It disappeared from sight. At this time, Bei Chaofei did not show up in the Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. Now everything was handled by Melan Rangan. Just now, Leng Hushan came and told her to do her best to investigate the news of the 3 killer monks in Qinglang Temple. Let her know as soon as there was any news. She knew that this side was eyeing the golden plum bottle, so she was mobilizing people to investigate. Suddenly, in the window behind her, a purple figure flew in. This is something our commander Helion gave to the owner of the Bay building. Please give it to him immediately. The figure turned and left after saying that. Nalan Rangan looked at the thing in her hand and was a little stunned. But she didn't dare to look at it. She could only take the thing and go to the place where Bai Chaofei was in seclusion. Of course, Bai Chaofei's strength has now entered the unity of spirit and soul, and he was just pretending to be in seclusion. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 217 Backstab, Storm. Zeduo Buzhengshi Mansion. Sir, that Su Chen has entered the city. He went to Changhan Palace. A servant said beside Li Wei. He went to Changhan Palace, but not Jinfeng Xiao Tower. Li Wei asked in a deep voice. Yes, the servant said again. It seems that the Su Chen is really the banner arranged by Mirren Chen. Li Wei said in a deep voice. Changhan Palace is supported by the fourth prince behind the scenes. It can be said that Changhan Palace represents the fourth prince in many cases. Sir, do we still need to use this Su Chen? He may not necessarily take action against Zaishian. The servant said. Don't young people have ambitions? I believe that, as long as you give more, he will move. Keep watching him. Li Wei ordered. Yes. The servant bowed and retreated. Changhan Palace, Su Chen. This Su Chen is very promising. Let's see if we can cooperate for a long time. Li Wei pondered in his heart. Although he is the left governor of Lingnan County, he is also a warrior. His strength has improved, and his body functions have slowed down his aging. He is unwilling to be just a left governor. At this time, in the Changhan Palace of Lingnan County, Su Chen sat opposite Mei Zuanshan. You asked me to come here this time for the golden plum bottle, right? I'm afraid I can't help you with this. Su Chen said. Even if his strength is improved, he is still in the middle stage of soul refining. With such strength, he will be crushed to death if he fights for the golden plum bottle. Of course not. I want you to use the power of your Shangate to help me pay attention to the movements of the 3 killer monks of Qinglang Temple. You have enough people now. Mei Zuanshan said. Shangate took down Xian sect, and the disciples were subdued very quickly. It can be said that there is no problem with the number of people covering the investigation of Lingnan County government. Mei Zuanshan will certainly use it. It seems that you will cooperate better with Jinfeng Xiao Tower for this. Su Chen asked. Golden plum bottle. Jinfeng Xiao Tower will not let go of such a treasure, and there may be a fight at that time. Mei Zuanshan said in a deep voice. Although they are in a cooperative state with Jinfeng Xiao Tower, once it comes to a treasure like the golden plum bottle, no one will give in. There may be a fight at that time, but the action will be milder. Then you are not afraid that I will snatch the golden plum bottle? Su Chen said. With your strength, even if you snatch it, you can't keep it. Mei Zuanshan glanced and said coldly. Okay, I will immediately arrange someone to investigate the whereabouts of the 3 killer monks. But once this golden plum bottle appeared, the previous action against Qinglang Temple seemed to be disrupted. Will this affect our expansion? Su Chen said. She also wanted Mei Zuanshan to take action against the other two sects, so that she could quickly occupy their territory. Quickly in the storm, it became the largest force in Lingnan County. I have already got some information, and was ready to take action, but I didn't expect such a thing to happen. I have to focus on the golden plum bottle. This is not a good opportunity. Everyone is watching. If you take action, you can completely catch them by surprise. That's not necessarily the case. Jinfeng Xiao Tower collects information about these two families. If it is leaked, if there are masters ambushing, my people may be injured, and we won't be able to snatch the golden plum bottle at that time. Mei Zuanshan decisively refused. This. Then what about our previous plan? Su Chen was speechless for a while. He didn't expect Mei Zuanshang to reject it out of hand. The strength of these two families is not comparable to that of Xian sect. They are affiliated forces of Qinglang Temple. How can they be affiliated forces of Qinglang Temple without any strength? You just need to wait here. Anyway, this storm will stop soon. Mei Zuanshang said. Such a good opportunity wasted. Or is my strength a little low? Su Chen sighed. Aren't you recruiting some people? I hope you can recruit some masters. Mei Zuanshang looked at Su Chen and said. You still know that I'm recruiting experts. It seems that Lord Mei cares about our Shan sect. It's not that I care about your Shan sect, but you are doing things very crazy. Your subordinate Cui Wu who went to recruit that Qiu Hensheng. It seems that the other party disagreed, so he directly poisoned and seriously injured the other party. However, the other party has some strength and escaped. He is being hunted down by your people. I'm afraid there is no chance of survival. Mei Zuanshang said. Is this kid so cruel? Su Chen thought in his heart. When the host's subordinate Cui Wu who recruited the warrior Qiu Hensheng, the other party insulted you and was poisoned by Cui Wu who's design, hunted down and killed, and rewarded one orange lottery card. This is also good. Cui Wu who is quite powerful. Su Chen cheered in his heart. Seeing Su Chen silent, he thought that Su Chen didn't know about this matter. Your subordinate is very loyal to you. I didn't expect that you are very good at controlling people. Mei Zuanshang said with praise. I finished talking about what's going on here, so I won't stay here. I haven't been to Lingnan County for a long time, so I'll go for a walk too. Su Chen didn't plan to make public the fact that he was meeting Li Wei. As for Li Wei, he chose Bichen Lao. Bichen Lao is a very famous restaurant in Lingnan County with first-class food. Many people lingered after eating. As for how to meet the other party didn't explain clearly. It is estimated that he will wait until he goes down the mountain or leaves for Bichen Lao and then arrange someone to notify him. Very cautious. Su Chen planned to go to Bichen Lao to eat something and wait for the other party's news. Just as he turned around and was about to leave, a disciple of Changhan Palace walked in. He glanced at Su Chen. Tell me, what happened? Mei Zuanshang said directly. A piece of news is now spreading in Lingnan County. That is, Monk Zuansen of Qinglang Temple died at the hands of Shangwen Jinhang of Jinfeng Xi Lao. The disciple said. What? Hearing this, Su Chen and Mei Zuanshang's faces changed. The monk Zuansen of Qinglang Temple died at the hands of Shangwen Jinhang of Jinfeng Xi Tower. The disciple said it again. You go down. Mei Zuanshang waved her hand. Then she looked at Su Chen and said, things may change again. Our cooperation with Jinfeng Xi Tower may be over. So serious. Su Chen said in a deep voice. Yes, from this news, the other party wants to use Shangwen Jinhang of Jinfeng Xi Tower to lure out the 3 killer monks of Qinglang Temple. Jinfeng Xi Tower has been used by someone. I don't know if Jinfeng Xi Tower can stop these 3 killer monks. Mei Zuanshang said worriedly. Su Chen's heart was extremely gloomy at this time. The matter of Shangwen Jinhang of Jinfeng Xi Tower participating in the fight against the monk Zuansen of Qinglang Temple. Only Jihuayao Shenzhen and Helian Ziyao knew about it. If someone leaked it, it could only be these two sides. Jihuayao Shenzhen is dead, and the people around him will never do this, so only Helian Ziyao's side. This is being backstabbed. On the other side, Nailin Rangan waited outside Beichaofui's retreat for a long time. She was a little worried that Beichaofui was in an emergency. At this time, a disciple came and told her the news from outside. Suddenly, her face changed, and she knocked on the door outside the secret room urgently. Chapter 218 Conspiracy to deal with Zaishianayan. Inside the secret room, Beichaofui, who was familiarizing himself with his own strength, heard a knock on the door. He immediately stopped practicing, stood up, and opened the door of the secret room. Seeing Nailin Rangan, who looked anxious, he said in a deep voice, "What happened? It was reported outside that Shangwen Jinhang of my Jinfeng Xi Tower killed Zuansen of Qinglang Temple. And this is a letter sent by Helian Ziyao of the Zenfu Division." Nailin Rangan handed the letter in her hand to Beichaofui. At this time, Beichaofui's face was very bad. Shangwen Jinhang killed people, but few people knew about it. Is there anything else recently? Bei Chaofei has been in seclusion for the past 2 days and didn't know about the 3 killer monks in Qinglang Temple. Nailan Rangan immediately told Bei Chaofei what happened. Bei Chaofei's originally bad face became gloomy, and he directly opened the letter sent by Helian Xiaoyao. Brother Bei, Senior Shangwen's matter was not my original intention, but the decision of the county governor. I know that. I'm sorry to Brother Bei, so I'm offering you 1 million taels of silver. Please accept it. I have already left Lingnan County. Brother Bei, please do not look for me. The letter is signed by Helian Xiaoyao. When was this letter delivered? Before the news came out? Bei Chaofei asked. In his heart, he secretly thought that Helian Xiaoyao was cautious. Yes, but I'm afraid of disturbing the cultivation of the building owner, so I have not reported it for a long time, said Nailan Rangan. This matter was revealed by Wen Yifan. According to what you said, they want to use us to attract the 3 killer monks. This county governor is really a good trick. My Jinfeng Xiao building has no grudge against him. But Helian Xiaoyao can't give up so easily. Helian Xiaoyao should have left someone in the Zenfu division to tell that person that this matter will not be resolved with 1 million. If he can't pay enough, then he will definitely die. Bei Chaofei said coldly. Then, building owner, should we make some arrangements here? Nailan Rangan was worried about the safety of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Don't worry, Lord Shangwen has broken through to the Heavenly Man realm, and China Pavilion has given him a weapon. The power of that weapon is extraordinary, not to mention that Lord Guan Qi is here. Even if the 3 killer monks have the golden plum bottle, they may not be able to get away with it here. Bei Chaofei said. Before Shangwen Jinhang took action, he already knew that this matter would be exposed. But he didn't expect it to happen so soon. But it doesn't matter. The 3 killer monks are extraordinary. But Shangwen Jinhang entered the Heavenly Man realm, and the strength of the dragon and phoenix golden ring in his hand increased greatly. Although Guan Qi is in the Heavenly Man 3 difficulties, Bei Chaofei will not think that he only has the combat power of the 3 difficulties. By the way, the young pavilion master asked Senior Leng to notify us and let us investigate the situation of the 3 killer monks with all our strength. We must find a way to get the golden plum bottle. Nailan Rangan said. This matter is the key point. Send someone to investigate. Bei Chaofei ordered. Master, how strong are you? Nailan Rangan asked with concern. I have already entered the state of unity of spirit and soul. Bei Chaofei said. Hearing this, Nailan Rangan showed a happy expression on her face. Of course, she was also surprised at Bei Chaofei's aptitude. He had broken through to the state of unity of spirit and soul in such a short time. The two of them headed towards the main building of Jinfeng Xiao. On the way, a servant handed over the news. Master, the red blood twin demons died at the hands of the 3 killer monks of Qinglang Temple. Now the 3 killer monks have disappeared. Nailan Rangan said. The red blood twin demons are strong in the 2 difficulties of heaven and man. The 2 of them are also considered masters in the 3 difficulties of heaven and man. I didn't expect them to die at the hands of these 3 people. This Qinglang Temple really can't be underestimated. By the way, go and inform Senior Leng, Lord Shangwen Jinhang, and Lord Guan Qi. I'll wait for them in the meeting hall. Bei Chaofei said. Yes. Nailan Rangan left quickly. Bei Chaofei went to the meeting hall. At this time, outside the city of Lingnan County, in a cave, Duyan, Duxun, and Duhei, the 3 killer monks, sat around and were healing their wounds. In front of them, the golden plum bottle was suspended. Streams of air flowed into their bodies. The wounds on their bodies recovered quickly. After a while, the golden plum bottle was collected by Monk Duyan. If it weren't for this golden plum bottle, the 3 of us would have died in the hands of the other party. This golden plum bottle has extraordinary healing effects, but we can't rely too much on it. I always feel that this golden plum bottle has a demonic nature. Monk Duyan said. Yes. Monk Duhei nodded. In addition, Monk Duxun also opened his eyes at this moment. We killed the red blood twin demons, and now they have suffered heavy losses. I'm afraid they will concentrate all their efforts to deal with us. Monk Duxun said. We were originally meant to attract them, but I just got a message that Zhuansen died at the hands of Shangwen Jinhang of Jinfeng Xiao Tower. Monk Duan said. Then we will take action to get rid of him. Monk Duhei said. Brother, at this time, such news came out. Either someone is setting a trap to make us fight against the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower, or they want to surround and kill us in the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. Monk Duzuan said in a deep voice. There is no rush for this matter. The people in the temple should have already taken action against the Jal Tower and the Gisha Mansion. As soon as we get the news, we will go to the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower to kill Shangwen Jinhang. Monk Duyuan said. It is rumored that there is the Shianaya Pavilion behind the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. Brother, we can't be careless. Duzuan said. Brother, Shianaya Pavilion, you really believe it? I think this Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower was created by Witch Prince. Otherwise, why would it appear in Lingnan County at this time? As long as we suppress the first attack of the princes, then I think many people will withdraw from the 9 northern counties, and then the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower may also run away. Duhei said. I hope so. Monk Duzuan nodded. In the evening Su Chen came to Bichin Tower. When he appeared at the door of Bichin Tower, a servant came up. Master Su, my master is waiting for you upstairs. The servant came to Su Chen and said. Su Chen followed the servant into Bichin Tower and walked into a private room on the 5th floor of the top floor. The private room was like a tea room. Li Wei, the left governor of Lingnan County, who was wearing plain clothes, saw Su Chen and stood up and came to Su Chen. What a hero is born in youth. I didn't expect Master Su to be so young. Please sit down. Li Wei invited Su Chen to sit opposite him and began to pour a cup of tea for Su Chen. Try it. This is the pre-rain tea I got from Jiangnan this year. Li Wei said. Su Chen did not touch the tea in front of him. He didn't know whether the tea was poisonous. He didn't want to test it, so he said directly, Your Excellency might as well tell me what you want to invite me to come. Is Master Su very decisive in doing things? Zai Shianayan, Master Su should know that I want to work with you to get rid of him. Li Wei put down the teacup in his hand and said. Chapter 219. Dugu is invincible, and the heaven and man are in trouble. Work together to get rid of Zai Shianayan. It seems that Lord Li knows that Zai Shianayan controls the forces of the Jianghu. Su Chen looked at Li Wei and said. Of course he knows. Master Su, you know a lot of information. You should know Zai Shianayan's personality. I believe he will continue to deal with your Shan sect. So you and I will work together to get rid of Zai Shianayan, which is convenient for both you and me. Li Wei said. He was amazed in his heart. Su Chen made some things clear right away, which was to inform him that he had a lot of information. Don't think he knows nothing. He couldn't help but pay more attention to Su Chen in his heart. Lord Li, Zai Shianayan is the man of Lord Wen, the county governor. Killing him, the consequences are somewhat unpredictable. Su Chen said. Of course, if he wanted to kill Zai Shianayan, he didn't need to cooperate with Li Wei at all. It's just that Shanman still needs some support to develop in Lingnan County for the time being. Maybe Li Wei is not bad. Sometimes friends with certain interests can cooperate and trust each other. It's true that Zai Shianayan has surrendered to Wen Yifan, but Wen Yifan can't stay here for long. Kill him, and the governor of Lingnan County will be me, Li Wei. As long as I take office, Master Su's sphere of influence will inevitably expand a lot. Li Wei continued. At this moment, Li Wei did not hide his ambitions at all. At this time, there is no need to hide his thoughts. Although Su Chen in front of him looks young, he has deep thoughts. Sir Li, you want to use my hand to kill Zai Shianayan. I see you are old, don't have this idea. I'm afraid you will not admit this matter afterwards, Su Chen said. At this point, he didn't want to beat around the bush with Li Wei. If Lord Li asked me to come here just for this matter, then I'm sorry I can't keep you company. Su Chen was about to get up and leave after he finished speaking. Master Su, don't worry about this. This is the deed and ownership of the Tong Family Bank, one of the 3 largest banks in Lingnan County. This is the initial deposit, and the balance is from Zai Shianayan's industry. You and I can split it in half. If you want to do it, I will do it with Master Su, Li Wei said. Lord Li, you should be confident that you can do it alone, but you want me to do it with you. What are you trying to borrow? It seems that our Shanman has nothing to borrow. Su Chen frowned. Master Su is very humble. The Chang'an Palace and the other lord behind you are both very good sources of strength. If I kill Zhe Xiaonan alone, the other party may not be afraid of me, but with you, even Wen Yifan will be afraid. Or think about it. As long as he thinks about it, he will lose the opportunity to attack me. By the way, I have the support of Qinglan Temple and the eldest prince, Li Wei said. He directly told Su Chen his bottom line, in fact, to make Su Chen believe it. Of course, he also knew that Su Chen might know his bottom line. After speaking, Li Wei looked at Su Chen. Su Chen's face was calm, and he nodded and said, since Lord Li is so sincere, my Shan sect also wants to expand. I agree to your proposal. If Lord Li has any subsequent plans, you can notify me. We have few strong people in Shan sect recently. I need to find some people who can calm the situation. Su Chen said so. In a few days, he was planning how to let Zhu Zioran join Shan sect. Thinking of this, Su Chen thought of an orange lottery card that Cui Woohoo got for him today. Draw it directly. Congratulations on getting the 50-year character key enhancement card. 50 years of character key. Su Chen frowned slightly. He didn't expect that at this time. He didn't get the character, but got a 50-year character key improvement card, which he couldn't use. 50 years of key should be able to help them step into the heavenly man realm from the unity of soul and spirit. As for the improvement of strength in the heavenly man realm, it may not work in 50 years. So one person should be selected from the unity of soul and spirit to improve. Bei Xianyu, Bei Chaofi, and Jing Wuming have just been promoted to the unity of soul and spirit. And A Fei will also step into the unity of soul and spirit after recuperation. So they will not cooperate for the time being, so now only Leng Hushan, Zhu Zhengwo, and Du Guwudi are left in the unity of soul and spirit. The strength of Du Guwudi should be improved first. Su Chen thought in his heart. After Du Guwudi came out, he forcibly upgraded and burst out the combat power of the unity of soul and spirit. Later, he recuperated in Qingcheng for a period of time and entered the state of unity of soul and spirit. Now he is helping Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower to expand its territory outside the Great Wall. Improving Du Guwudi's strength can help him gain a firm foothold outside the Great Wall. Then he used this card directly. At this time, in a tent outside the Great Wall, Du Guwudi sat cross-legged and was practicing. There are 10 big bosses in the ghost domain. Among them, the strength of the big boss and the second boss is in the realm of heaven and man. As for how difficult it is to be a heaven and man, Du Guwudi does not know for the time being. The other 8 are in the unity of soul and spirit. His strength is in the unity of soul and spirit. So when he cooperates with the other party, he has a sense of being restricted and suppressed. So now the progress is not smooth. Boom. Suddenly, a huge energy appeared in his body. This energy seemed to appear from his body and began to nourish his body and quickly broke through his current bottleneck, allowing his strength to increase rapidly. It was not until he reached the first difficulty of heaven and man and was close to the second difficulty of heaven and man that the energy disappeared. Thank you, my lord. Du Guwudi said in his heart. With this strength, he can negotiate with these people in the ghost domain. Further develop the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Or he can establish his own sect in this place outside the Great Wall. He, Du Guwudi, was formerly the leader of the Invincible sect, so he still hopes to have his own hegemony. He restrained his breath and stepped out of the tent. Go to the area where the top 10 bosses in the ghost domain are located. This way. Li Wei saw Su Chen in thought and frowned slightly. He also didn't understand Su Chen's thoughts. When I find an opportunity here, I will notify Master Su, and then Master Su can bring people here. I hope Master Su can bring some masters. Li Wei said. Master? Sorry, I was distracted by thinking about something else just now. Master Li, Zhe Xiaonan is only at the state of unity of spirit and soul. Master, with me, it shouldn't be difficult to kill him. Of course, if Master can still take out the things you just gave me, I can kill him alone. Since he has agreed to cooperate with Li Wei, it is completely necessary to show his strength appropriately. Li Wei's strength lies in the unity of spirit and soul. He wants to let him see that he has the ability to kill Zhe Xiaonan. There is no need to work together with Li Wei at all. HMM. Hearing Su Chen's words, Li Wei's eyes condensed. It seems that Master Su has extraordinary means. These are the deeds of the 2 restaurants. Zhe Xiaonan should meet some people secretly tomorrow. You can help. Li Wei glanced at Su Chen and took out 2 more deeds from his arms. Then wait for my news tomorrow, and I will go to taste the good wine and food of Chen Lao first. Su Chen stood up, took the 2 deeds, and said goodbye to Li Wei. Looking at Su Chen's back as he left, a man walked out from the dark. Sir, isn't Su Chen a little too arrogant? The man said with a bow. He didn't believe that Su Chen had the ability to kill Zhe Xiaonan. Since he said so, he should have the means. You keep a close eye on Zhe Xiaonan's movements and notify him immediately if there is any news. Li Wei said in a deep voice. He felt in his heart that Su Chen might be more extraordinary than he thought. He was right in making this connection. Chapter 220, Xin Mi, Knife Slave, and the Killing Monk reappear. Previously, Su Chen only talked about cooperation. But after agreeing, he said that, as long as he gave enough benefits, he could kill Zhe Xiaonan himself. This made Li Wei unable to see through Su Chen. Of course, he also wanted to use this to test Su Chen's background, so he took out the deed of the restaurant directly. This thing is not a big loss for him. In Lingnan County for so many years, he has many industries secretly. Su Chen sighed. After saying goodbye to Li Wei, he ate something in the restaurant, then left, and notified the people of Shanmen in Lingnan County to send a message back, asking them to investigate the whereabouts of the 3 killer monks. He still needs Mei Zuanshang's support, so he has to do it for Mei Zuanshang to see. In Changhan Palace, a figure appeared in front of Mei Zuanshang. This figure came to Meng Shentang with Mei Zuanshang. That Su Chen went to see Li Wei, and they agreed to deal with Zhe Xiaonan. What surprised me was that Su Chen actually said that he would kill Zhe Xiaonan himself. Meng Shentang looked at Mei Zuanshang and said, I'm not surprised that he cooperated with Li Wei, and I'm not surprised that he killed Zhe Xiaonan, but he said he wanted to kill Zhe Xiaonan himself. Does he have the strength to do that? Mei Zuanshang looked at Meng Shentang. His strength is indeed in the middle stage of soul refining, but I have a feeling that the other party really has the means to kill the soul and soul. Otherwise he would dare to recruit warriors at the peak of soul refining. Meng Shentang said. Then let's see. Did he arrange people to find the 3 killer monks of Qinglan Temple? This is what Mei Zuanshang cares about now. He needs to find these 3 people and monitor them. He has arranged this, but if these 3 people go out, there will be a lot of noise. As long as they move, we should be able to know. While let Shanman move. What's more, according to the situation, the 3 killer monks should attack Shangwen Jinhang of Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. We just need to pay attention to Shangwen Jinhang's movements. Meng Shentang asked with some confusion. I want to incorporate Shanman into Changhan Palace and make it my power. Of course, if Su Chen's power grows fast, he can also become my true ally. The battle before the 9 emperors, Lingnan County, or the 9 northern counties, is just the beginning. A turmoil that will sweep across the entire Great Zhao is about to begin. Mei Zuanshang said. I'm afraid that His Majesty of the Great Zhao will not allow such a thing to happen. Meng Shentang said in a deep voice. He can't stop it anymore. He is poisoned by the begonia one-thought flower poison that the leader of the heavenly demon cult has nurtured for decades. It can be suppressed, but it can't be cracked unless your majesty breaks through. But the poison in his body also limits his breakthrough. So your majesty, you can only protect yourself for the time being. You want to do more things, but you are willing but unable. Since ancient times, the country has been won by emperors, and the emperors have been destroyed by the tombs of beauties. Uncle Meng, is this heavenly demon cult leader really beautiful? She can make a person like your majesty fall in love with her. Mei Zuanshang asked. The most beautiful woman in the world is not called that for nothing. Meng Shentang just said this, and his figure disappeared in front of Mei Zuanshang. The most beautiful woman in the world, Mei Zuanshang muttered. Then she said nothing more. At this time, in a place in Lingnan County City, Zihanayu was standing with a bow to a man with a knife on his waist and only one arm. The man was wearing a grey robe and his eyes were expressionless. If it weren't for the knife on his waist, many people would think he was a refugee. Meet senior knife slave. Zihanayu said very bowed. Not far from her, the fat Felong Venerable was trembling with fear and standing respectfully. The knife slave of the Hanyu sect was one of the two masters beside the leader of the Hanyu sect. He was definitely a strong man in the heavenly realm. Just when the other party came, her tone was a little presumptuous. She was almost cut in half by the man who came in. Saint girl, the leader has sent a message that the golden plum bottle is the most important, and the others can be put aside for now. The knife slave's voice was a little hoarse. It is indeed not convenient to take action now. I just received news that the Ghost Demon Mansion and the Paradise Tower took action against the forces of the Azure Dragon Temple and suffered heavy losses. A lot of good players died, and they are now being hunted down by some forces affiliated with the Azure Dragon Temple. And the owner of the Ghost Demon Mansion, Nifenghan, was killed by the Great Wisdom Dharma King of the Azure Dragon Temple, and the owner of the Paradise Tower, Xiaobili, fled with his men. Zihanayu told the new news. I didn't expect that one of the three Dharma Kings, the Great Wisdom Dharma King, would actually take action. Is this a warning to us? Things have evolved. It's probably useless to use this to deter and warn us, the knife slave said coldly. But this is a later story. Our current goal is to rob the golden plum bottle. Are you aware of the whereabouts of those three people? The knife slave asked in a deep voice. No trace of these three people has been found yet, but when Yefan from the third prince's side is preparing to use Shangwen Jinhang of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower to lure out the three killer monks. I just don't know if these three killer monks will show up. Mei Zuanshang said. Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower is the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower, where Xian Beiyu was killed. Hearing this, the knife slave said with a cold expression. Although Lu Xiangxing is the most powerful among the four Dharma Kings of Hanyu sect, he is also one of the four Dharma Kings of Hanyu sect. Xian Beiyu of Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower dared to kill the Dharma King of Hanyu sect. Hanyu sect was going to take action against Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. Now the whole northern 9 counties are in turmoil, so they suppressed this matter first. Prepare to take action after it calms down. Yes, Shangwen Jinhang's previous strength was in the unity of spirit and soul, but there is news that Monk Zuanshan's strength has entered the realm of heaven and man, so Shangwen Jinhang may have also entered the realm of heaven and man. And behind this Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower is Shianaya Pavilion. There is no information about the situation of Shianaya Pavilion here. Zihanayu said. She said this because she didn't want the knife slave to cause trouble for Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. Hearing Zihanayu's words, the knife slave's expression did not change. Is that so? If the people from Qinglang Temple attack, I don't mind helping them suppress the situation. They will pay a price for killing my Hanyu sect Dharma King. Hearing Daonu's words, Zihanayu's heart moved, and her eyes couldn't help but look at the dragon lady standing not far away. The dragon lady hurriedly shook her head. Zihanayu nodded and said, I'll give the order here. Arrange a secret room for me. If those three people attack Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, or are surrounded and killed, notify me. Daonu said. My lord, please follow me. The dragon lady stepped forward at this time, and left with the one-armed grey-robed man. I won't stay here either. Notify me if there is anything. The fat dragon venerable also took the opportunity to leave. He didn't want to face Daonu here. After a while, the dragon lady returned. Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower is not simple. I'm afraid it will cause changes. Zihanayu said. Once Daonu decides something, we can't change it. I hope that the three people from Qinglang Temple will not attack Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, said the dragon lady. They should take action. If there was no previous news, they would still wait. Now they don't need to wait. Zihanayu shook her head. Su Chen, who did not leave the county city, looked at the news in his hand at this time. His face was very surprised. Gisha Mansion and Chal Tower were defeated like this. It was too fast. In this case, the three monks of Qinglang Temple should take action against Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. Su Chen thought in his heart. Late at night, three people in black robes entered Lingnan County City and headed towards Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. Chapter 221, Gathering, taking the opportunity, attacking and killing Zaishianayan. The three killer monks of Qinglang Temple have appeared. They are heading to Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. Send a message quickly. At this time, in the dark, a person spoke to the person next to him. The person next to him left quickly, and a moment later, Several birds flew out of the darkness. In an inn. Chen also received the message. Shanman also has personnel arranged in Lingnan County. With so many people discovering, they will not have no reaction at all. Just said they would take action, but I didn't expect it to be so fast. I just don't know how many people will surround and kill them. But even if those people take action, they will take action after they take action against Jinfeng Xiao Tower. Chen thought in his heart. Everyone wants to take action when both sides are defeated. In this way, they have a better chance of getting the golden plum bottle. Chen asked someone to send a message to Changhan Palace. He left the inn, but the place he went to was not Jinfeng Xiao Tower, but Zaishianan's mansion. Now everyone is paying attention to the Jinfeng Xiao Tower, followed by the 3 killer monks of Qinglang Temple. It is just the right time for him to take action. At this time, on the roofs of the buildings on the street, figures were running fast. They were all heading to the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. It seemed that they were all people who had received the news and were heading to the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. The aura of 3 of them gave Chen a strong sense of oppression. This kind of strength should have surpassed the unity of spirit and soul. I didn't expect that 3 Heaven Realm Masters would come to Lingnan County in just a few days. I wonder if there are more in the dark. Chen thought to himself as he stepped out of the inn. In the dark of the street, Chen changed into a black robe. On the other side, many Zuanshang in Changhan Palace also got the news. This Qinglang Temple has just suppressed the Ghost Demon Mansion in the Jile Tower, and now it is attacking the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Doesn't this give the Golden Wind and Rain Tower no chance to react? Uncle Meng, do you think tonight will be our chance? Do you think we have a chance to get the golden plum bottle? Many Zuanshang said. We can cooperate with the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Together we can kill the 3 killer monks of the Azure Dragon Temple. I have recently practiced another kind of martial arts, and others can't see my attack method. With these conditions, negotiate with the Golden Wind and Rain Tower, and see if they are willing to give up the golden plum bottle in the end. Meng Shentang said. Now the first open attack by the 7th prince has failed. If they openly attack the 3 killer monks of the Azure Dragon Temple, they may be counterattacked by the Azure Dragon Temple, so they can't show up. If we kill together, we may not be able to get the golden plum bottle, and there must be a lot of people spying in secret. Have you found out who these spying people are? Many Zuanshang said worriedly. Not many people came, only 5 people, and the one that concerns me is the knife slave of the Hanyu sect. Meng Shentang said in a deep voice. You think he will do it? Yes, Jinfeng Xiao killed Lu Xiangxing, and that Lu Xiangxing has some relationship with Dao Nu, not to mention that Jinfeng Xiao killed Lu Xiangxing without hesitation, and Hanyu sect also needs to make Jinfeng Xiao pay the price. Knife Nu's methods have always been vicious. How could he miss such an opportunity? He will take the opportunity to attack Jinfeng Xiao. I want to use this to negotiate with Jinfeng Xiao. Meng Shentang said. Then Uncle Meng, you can arrange the action yourself. Many Zuanshang said. At this time, Zaishianan's mansion. Zaishianan, who had just fallen asleep in his clothes, was awakened by a knock on the door. He got dressed and walked out of the room. What happened? Sir, the 3 killer monks of Qinglang Temple have appeared and are heading to Jinfeng Xiao. The person who came was an old man who looked like a butler. Hearing the old man's words, Zaishianan was startled. Pay close attention to the movements over there. You go and investigate in person. I'll wait for your news in the hall. Zaishianan didn't plan to go there in person. He knew something about the golden plum bottle that others didn't know. The golden plum bottle can help people recover from injuries, but it has a demonic nature. Once controlled by the demonic nature, it will attack anyone. It is very murderous, and his strength can't stop the opponent's move. It's better to wait here for news. Yes. The old housekeeper quickly said goodbye and left. After a while, Zaishianan had arrived at the hall. In the hall, Zaishianan was about to light the lamp. However, suddenly a figure appeared at the door of the hall. Master Zay, you don't need to light the lamp. While speaking, the figure appeared, and a knife appeared in his hand. The knife light was like a silver waterfall under the moonlight, sweeping towards him. Zaishianan's pupils suddenly shrank, his body turned, and he chopped out with a palm. A burst of energy burst out from his palm, meeting the waterfall like knife light. Bang! The waterfall like blade light was directly shattered by this energy. But the blade like drizzle behind the waterfall split his energy and slashed towards his head. Zaishianan's pupils shrank suddenly. He raised his right hand, and his palm and sleeve bulged, and instantly wrapped around the blade light. At the moment of wrapping, Zaishianan's figure jumped towards the window. He directly shattered the window, and came to the courtyard. "Come here," he shouted. Some guards came quickly, but the black-clothed man who followed him turned the blade light in his hand, and the blade energy rippled out like water waves. Those guards who rushed in were instantly chopped off by the other party. Seeing this situation, Zaishianan's eyes condensed. The strength of the person who came was beyond his expectation, and the weapon in his hand was also extraordinary. His servants were like ants in front of this person. Blood filled the courtyard. "Who are you?" Zaishianan looked at the black-clothed man and said. As he spoke, his aura began to surge, and the aura of the unity of spirit and soul directly pressed towards the man in black. Now, at this time, he still had to rely on himself. The aura was like a wave, pressing towards the man in black. The man in black who made the move was Chen. Under the suppression of the aura of the unity of spirit and soul, the aura on Chen's body also began to surge out. But it was still a little short. Sensing the fluctuation of Chen's aura, Zaishianan's eyes changed, and then his eyes were cold, looking at Chen with a burst of contempt at the corner of his mouth. Of course, he was also annoyed in his heart. The other party's strength has not yet reached the unity of spirit and soul. Such strength is not his opponent at all. Even if the weapon in the other party's hand is not ordinary, it can't do anything to him. He was previously intimidated by the other party. Maybe it's because he was too careful. "Why, Lord Zay is confident to deal with me." Seeing the contempt in the corner of Zaishianan's mouth, Chen said, "Kill you first, then see who you are." Zaishianan snorted coldly. He kicked the ground with his foot and rushed towards Chen. He clenched his palm into a fist, and a stream of energy appeared on his fist, which took the shape of a tiger. White tiger splits the demon. Boom. With a violent fist, the white tiger roared out and bombarded Chen. Chapter 222, Shangwen Jinhang's Spirit, Dragon, and Phoenix Golden Ring. The opponent's body movement and swordsmanship are good, so he has to use force to suppress the opponent directly. Seeing this, Chen did not hesitate, but turned around and headed towards the wall of the courtyard. He avoided Zaishianan's fierce punch. "If you come, don't leave." Seeing this, Zaishianan's face showed a ferocious look. He looked very confident just now, but now he turned around and fled. How could Zaishianan not hate him? He felt that he was completely fooled. If he didn't kill this man, it would be difficult to get rid of the hatred in his heart. He immediately jumped out and chased Chen. But at the moment he flew up, Chen, who had just turned around and fled, turned his body and kicked the ground hard. The whole person flew into the air and then slashed with a knife. The knife was like drizzle, and with the help of moonlight, it was like a silver meteor. Zaishianan was falling to the ground, and he didn't expect the opponent to fight back. With a start, he punched the ground with his palm and flew up with the force. Then he raised his right foot and attacked Chen. A silver key instantly covered his right foot, which looked like a metal foot. Boom. The key collided with the knife light. A violent power wave was set off. Then his body shot backwards. On the other side, Chen was also repelled by this key. As soon as his foot landed on the ground, he appeared in front of Zaishianan like a ghost. "Take my knife." Chen drew his knife again, and the knife light flowed. The knife energy spread rapidly like ripples, but at the last moment it gathered into a knife light. Zaishianan also punched, and the key surged, smashing Chen's knife energy. But at this time, the Xiao knife in Chen's hand disappeared. He punched with both arms at the same time, and the Xianxiang fist energy surged, and the fist carried a icy air towards the opponent. "This little cold air can't do anything to me." Zaishianan snorted coldly. He punched out to resist Chen's fist. The fist of the right arm arrived before the fist of the left arm. The right fist collided with the opponent. The cold air was shattered by the opponent's ki. Then the fist of the left arm arrived. Zaishianan snorted coldly, not caring about the cold air in the opponent's fist at all. but when his fist collided with the opponent's fist, a terrifying cold air surged from his left arm, directly freezing his ki, and then directly freezing his arm. Su Chen's right arm is not a killing arm, but his left arm is. The killing arm combined with the Xianxiang fist, the power of the cold air burst out is so powerful that even a warrior in the spirit and soul fusion realm can be directly frozen if he is careless. The piercing cold air surged from his arm to his heart. Zhe Xiaonan looked shocked. He immediately used his ki to resist, but at this time, the knife light that disappeared before appeared again. Swish! It directly cut his throat. Then he quickly retreated and looked at the opponent. Zhe Xiaonan's body fell to the ground, his neck cut by the drizzle knife, and there was no possibility of survival. What's more, Su Chen also triggered a reward. Personally kill Zhe Xiaonan, the right governor of Lingnan County of the Great Zhao Dynasty, and get an orange lottery card as a reward. This made Su Chen, who was running away, a little excited. The things in the orange lottery card. Even if you can't draw a character, the value of the one you draw is not cheap. He is still looking forward to it. Not long after Su Chen disappeared, the guards of the Zhe mansion rushed out and exclaimed when they saw Zhe Xiaonan lying on the ground. Some people left secretly and spread the news. At this time, Jinfeng Xiao Tower, as the largest intelligence organization in Lingnan County today, this side naturally knew about the appearance of the 3 killer monks. In the living room, Bei Chaofei sat upright, and Nailin Rangan stood beside him with a solemn face. But Shangwen Jinhang and Guan Qi, who were sitting on the other side, had calm faces. There was a sharp light in their eyes. Shangwen Jinhang stepped into the realm of heaven and man, and got his own weapon, the dragon and phoenix golden ring, but he hadn't made a move yet. As for Guan Qi himself, he was called the god of war. It can be seen how strong he is in battle. Guan Qi, who was sitting on the chair, had a burly figure, showing his muscles, and wearing a red cloak. Just sitting there made the atmosphere depressing. Report. At this time, a figure walked in from outside. Master, several adults, the 3 killer monks are 2 streets away from here. The figure came in and reported. Okay, got it. Bei Chaofei waved his hand. It may take some time for the young pavilion master to arrive, so I have to trouble Senior Shangwen and Senior Guan Qi. Bei Chaofei said to the two. No problem. I will go to meet them first, when the time comes. Brother Guan Qi, you can wait. Shangwen Jinhang said. Although Guan Qi's strength is in the 3 difficulties of heaven and man, it gives him a very strong feeling. Jihuayao Shenzhen couldn't do it before. Okay. Guan Qi nodded. His strength is indeed stronger than Shangwen Jinhang. Even if Shangwen Jinhang has the dragon and phoenix golden ring, he is still not his opponent. He is absolutely confident in this. His innate invisible sword energy that can break the dragon and phoenix golden ring can break it. We are here. At this time, Bei Chaofei said with a change of expression. 2 streets. It wouldn't be so fast at normal speed. It seems that the 3 killer monks have sped up. Mr. Shangwen and I will go to meet each other first. Bei Chaofei stood up and said. At this time, 3 figures appeared downstairs of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. This is the Golden Wind and Rain Tower, the former Hefengtang territory. Looking at the Golden Wind and Rain Tower in front of them, the 3 people took off their cloaks. Many people already knew that it was them, so there was no need to hide anymore. In the eyes of the 3 people, Bei Chaofei, Shangwen Jinhang, and Nailin Rangan walked out of the building. Bei Chaofei waved his hand after he appeared. Rows of lanterns were hung on the surrounding streets in an instant, illuminating the streets like daylight. It seemed that the Golden Wind and Rain Tower was waiting for these 3 people. The 3 killer monks of Qinglang Temple, our young pavilion master has taken a fancy to the golden plum bottle in your hands. If you hand over the golden plum bottle, you may be able to leave alive today. Bei Chaofei looked at the 3 people and said. His eyes were calm and composed, and he was not disturbed by the arrival of the 3 killer monks. This Jinfeng Xiao Tower is a bit arrogant. Does it want to deal with the 3 killer monks of Qinglang Temple with Shangwen Jinhang, who has just entered the heavenly realm? Some people looked at this situation and had such doubts in their hearts. They didn't believe that Jinfeng Xiao Tower didn't know the strength of the 3 killer monks. Shangwen Jinhang's spirit is extraordinary. At this time, Zihanayu, Daonu and Long Pio appeared on the roof of a pavilion on the street. The Daonu looked at Shangwen Jinhong and said with a frown. Hearing Daonu's words, Zihanayu's expression condensed and said, Senior Daonu, according to the information, Shangwen Jinhong has just entered the heavenly realm. Is there anything special about him? From the aura, it seems that he has just entered the heavenly realm, but I don't know why he gives me a very unusual or dangerous feeling. Daonu said in a deep voice. What? Hearing this, Zihanayu exclaimed. Can they deal with the 3 killer monks of the Qinglang Society? We need to fight them to know. When Daonu spoke, his eyes were focused on the situation outside the Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower. While they were talking, Shangwen Jinhong stepped out of the Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower, and a pair of pure gold rings appeared in his hands. A dragon and a phoenix were carved on the gold rings, which were very realistic. Chapter 223, The Power of the Golden Ring, the Golden Plum Vase, and Resurrection. Shangwen Jinhong made a move. It was only rumored that he killed Monk Zuansen of Qinglang Temple, but few people actually saw it. So some people were skeptical about Shangwen Jinhong. But now Shangwen Jinhong stepped out. The aura he showed made them know that he had the ability to kill Monk Zuansen. At this time, Mei Zuanshang and Meng Shentong appeared in a dark place. Shangwen Jinhong's aura is not right. There is a feeling of invincibility. How could this feeling appear in a warrior who is in a difficult situation? Looking at Shangwen Jinhong who stepped out, Meng Shentong's eyes were full of surprise. He had previously investigated Shangwen Jinhong's strength. His strength was in the realm of heaven and man, but he didn't have this kind of aura at that time. His eyes finally fell on his weapon. His pupils suddenly shrank. That weapon is not simple. Meng Shentong felt a chill in his heart when he looked at the weapon. The fact that he felt a chill in his heart meant that the thing in Shangwen Jinhong's hand was definitely not an ordinary item. I feel a sense of terror from that weapon, Mei Zuanshang said. She practices the way of the zither, or the way of sound waves. This kind of practice is also very sharp and can sense some special energy. It's extraordinary, but I don't know how powerful it is. What kind of power is the Shianaya Pavilion behind the Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower? Is it good or bad to appear at this time? Meng Shentong thought to himself. At this time, although Shangwen Jinhong only had the difficulty of heaven and man, he stood in front of the 3 people. Do you think that you can make up for the difference in strength between us with the weapon in your hand? The 3 of us joined forces, and the 9 nether god was killed by us personally. Monk Duan looked at Shangwen Jinhong and said, You are stronger than me, but I know that, as long as I come out of the ring, I will definitely be able to kill one of you 3. I just don't know if the golden plum bottle has the effect of resurrection. Shangwen Jinhong looked at the other party and said, Resurrection from the dead. Maybe there is such a treasure in the world, but the golden plum bottle does not have such ability. Monk Duan said. Hearing what Monk Duan said, some people appeared in the dark, frowning slightly. Since it has no such effect, then Master Duan, how about handing the golden plum bottle to me in Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower? Shangwen Jinhong said. Humph. I really want to see if the weapon in your hand can kill me. Monk Duan said. While speaking, golden light appeared on his body, as if he had crossed a layer of armor. Qinglang Temple's body refining technique, Buddha's golden body. Boom. Then a punch. Since they are here, they can't be bluffed by the other party like this. If so, they will become a joke, and Qinglang Temple will also become a joke. On the other side, Monk Duhei, his body was running with ki, and a black flame ki burst out of him. Like black smoke, rolling out. He stared at Shangwen Jinhong closely. He wanted to see Shangwen Jinhong's movements. Then he would make a move. At this time, Shangwen Jinhong's expression condensed, and the aura around him began to concentrate. He slowly raised his right hand. Although his movements seemed slow, they were indeed very fast, because he raised his hand before the fist of Monk Duzuan arrived. Boom. Without any hesitation, the double rings in his hand shot out instantly. The speed was so fast that only 2 golden lights could be seen in the air. The golden light turned into a dragon and a phoenix. Boom. The dragon and phoenix collided with the fist, and a bright light burst out. The moment the bright light burst out, the dragon and phoenix disappeared, turned into 2 golden rings. But the speed of the golden ring did not change. The strange fist penetrated the Kijin, swept through Monk Duzuan's arm, and came directly to Monk Duzuan's neck. The first golden ring directly shattered the Buddha's golden body. The second golden ring hit his neck. The sound of the neck breaking was heard. At this time, the figure of Monk Duyuan, who had not moved, appeared beside Monk Duzuan like a ghost, and an ordinary looking bottle appeared in his hand. A stream of ki in his hand poured into the bottle. Suddenly, a stream of lifelike energy appeared in the bottle and flowed into the body of the Monk Duzuan. The neck of the Monk Duzuan, who had just been broken and only had one breath left, was recovering rapidly. Then, the Monk Duyuan slapped the returning golden ring with one palm, changing the speed of the golden ring. The Monk Duhei made a move here, slapped his palm, and the flame energy was like the sea, heading towards Shangguan Jinhang. Shangguan Jinhang's face changed. If his own strength was not blessed by the Dragon and Phoenix golden ring, he would definitely not be the opponent of the Monk Duhei. He retreated rapidly. As he retreated, a figure stepped out of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. The domineering aura enveloped the whole place. After he appeared, he punched out. Although the fist came out later, it easily blocked the palm attack of the Monk Duhei. Come to the Golden Wind and Rain Tower to act wild. Only death. Guan Qi didn't waste his words. After blocking Duhei's punch, he punched out again. The invisible sword energy burst out from his fist, tearing through the flame energy of Duhei and heading towards the Monk Duhei. Bang! Duhei had no chance to react. His body was hit by the fist. The invisible sword energy flowed into the other person's body from his fist. A blood hole was directly blasted out of the Monk Duhei's chest. Duyuan, who had just helped the Monk Duzuan to prolong his life, immediately came to the Monk Duhei. He continued to input energy, and a force appeared in the golden plum bottle and flowed into the Monk Duhei's chest. The blood hole torn by Guan Qi's invisible sword energy actually began to recover rapidly. At this time, Su Chen had already arrived. Seeing this situation, his eyes opened wide. This golden plum bottle is really not an ordinary treasure. It can be said that it has the effect of resurrection. Not only Su Chen's eyes opened wide, everyone in the dark looked at the golden plum bottle with fiery eyes. Who wouldn't be tempted by such a treasure? Although Su Chen was tempted, his eyes were also focused on the Monk Duyuan. Suddenly his eyes changed, because at this moment a black thread appeared in the eyes of Monk Duyuan. Everyone stared at the golden plum bottle and ignored the changes in Monk Duyuan. It was just that the black thread disappeared very quickly. Or maybe it was not that it disappeared very quickly, but that it was drawn into the depths of the other party's eyes. It seems that using this golden plum bottle too much is not good. This is a sign of being possessed by a demon, Su Chen said in his heart. After being shocked by the effect of the golden plum bottle, everyone's eyes fell on Guan Qi. This strong man who came out of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower beat Monk Duhei half to death with one punch. If it weren't for the golden plum bottle, perhaps Monk Duhei would have died. You three are too weak together, Guan Qi said to Monk Duyuan. While speaking, black airflows appeared on Guan Qi's body, and these airflows were as sharp as sword energy. Everyone trembled when they saw the black airflow. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 224 Guan Qi, the invisible sword energy that breaks through the body, invincible in one battle. Whoosh. The aura between heaven and earth became oppressive under this black airflow. Some people could not stand this oppression and began to retreat behind them. Duyuan, Duxuan and Duhei, the three killer monks, gathered together and looked at Guan Qi, who appeared with a solemn face. Who are you? Monk Duyuan looked at Guan Qi with a solemn expression. I'm Guan Qi, from Shianaya Pavilion, and now I'm in charge of the 9 northern counties, Jinfengxiu Tower, Guan Qi said. When he spoke, an absolute domineering aura burst out from his body. Guan Qi was the 7th Saint Master of the Mythian League among the heroes. He was a person who mastered the fist, and his aura was strong. Guan Qi. Hearing Guan Qi's words, Monk Duyuan and the other two frowned. I didn't expect that there would be a strong man like Guan Qi in the Jinfengxiu Tower. The three of them looked at each other. The aura on their bodies changed and turned into the same kind of ki. This ki burst out, forming black ripples, and the ripples flowed inside their bodies. When flowing, a ki between heaven and earth rushed into their bodies. Heavenly beings can use the power of heaven and earth. Of course, this power depends on one's own capacity. The three people used the power of heaven and earth, and their internal strength surged. Qinglang Temple, Black Nether Primordial Gong. I wonder if Guan Qi can survive the joint efforts of these three people. Meng Shentang said beside Mei Zuanshang. They are so unscrupulous in using the power of heaven and earth. Is this relying on the golden plum bottle? Mei Zuanshang said. She was not interested in Guan Qi's life or death. She cared about the golden plum bottle. The golden plum bottle must have side effects when used. We just didn't see it. If this kind of treasure can be used unscrupulously, we'd better leave Lingnan County as soon as possible. Meng Shentang said. Side effects. Mei Zuanshan looked at Monk Duyan. Monk Duyan was the one who used the golden plum bottle. If there were side effects, they should be on Monk Duyan. But she observed it for a while, but did not find anything abnormal. Watch carefully. When they attack this time, their meridians will be broken. They will have to use the golden plum bottle. Meng Shentang said. On the other side, the knife slave in front of Zihan Yu looked calm. Senior Dao knew. Can Guan Qi stop Monk Duyuan and the others? If he can force Monk Duyuan to use the golden plum bottle again. Zihan Yu said. Duyuan can't use the golden plum bottle anymore. The next time he uses it, it must be Duzuan or Duhei. If he uses the golden plum bottle again, Monk Duyuan will be possessed by the devil. He will not be himself at that time. Dao Nu said coldly. From his words, we can know that he is familiar with the golden plum bottle. Possessed by the devil? Zihan Yu's eyes condensed. He looked at the battlefield again. At this time, on the battlefield, when the opponent's aura surged, Guan Qi took the lead and rushed out directly. The great north-south Kigan in his body burst out instantly. The huge Qi force pressed towards the three people like a flood. Even if you use the power between heaven and earth, what can you do? My own aura can suppress you. Boom. Monk Duyuan and the other two punched at the same time. The three fists gathered together and collided with Guan Qi's fist. Bang. The two forces collided. A storm swept around. In an instant, Guan Qi raised his palm and shot out the sword energy, directly cutting the storm, and then appeared in front of Monk Duyuan. Monk Duyuan was the strongest among the three. Guan Qi wanted to fight the strongest person. Bang. A punch was thrown, hammering directly into the face of Monk Duyuan. At this time, the other two attacked Guan Qi. Guan Qi punched to resist, and Monk Duyuan formed a seal on his palm, the dragon and tiger handprint. With the palm slap, the dragon and tiger appeared in the energy, roaring, and the murderous aura was filled, killing Guan Qi. Guan Qi resisted three people alone. Although he was not at a disadvantage, he did not seem to have the upper hand. The four people mixed together. Monk Duyuan and the other three cooperated skillfully. Guan Qi found a gap and the others could fill it. The battle seemed extremely fierce. Is Guan Qi testing their bottom line? Su Chen thought to himself while watching the battle here. Guan Qi's heartless sword energy broke through his body, and sword energy could appear everywhere in his body. Just when Su Chen was thinking, Guan Qi blocked the Monk Duhei with a punch, and when he blocked the Monk Duhei, he punched towards the Monk Duzuan with a backhand punch. The Monk Duyuan immediately assisted. But at this moment, two sharp sword energies came out from Guan Qi's eyebrows. They directly pierced the eyes of the Monk Duzuan. Ah! A scream came from Duyuan's body. He covered his eyes and retreated to the distance. At this time, the Monk Duyuan wanted to retreat and help the Monk Duzuan. But Guan Qi's attack had already arrived. He would not give the other party a chance to rescue the Monk Duzuan at this time. On this side, Shangwen Jinhang made a move, and the golden ring in his hand flew out instantly. The Monk Duzuan, whose eyes were stabbed, heard the sound of the golden ring in his ears, but his body could not dodge it. His throat was hit again. Crack. It broke. This time there was no help from the golden plum bottle. After the fall, the Monk Duzuan could not get up, because he had no breath. At this time, Guan Qi retreated, and did not attack Duzuan and Yuan again. He wanted to see if the golden plum bottle could still save Duzuan this time. Monk Du Yuan quickly came to Du Zuan and checked the situation of Monk Du Zuan. His face changed drastically, and then he looked at Guan Qi with a ferocious look. Guan Qi, I want you to die. Monk Du Yuan growled. When he growled, several black auras appeared in his eyes, and these auras gradually covered his eyes. Brother. Du He beside him immediately shouted in a low voice. The huge roar was like a lion opening its mouth. The black airflow in the eyes of the Monk Du Yuan began to disappear. Guan Qi, I must kill you today. Monk Du Yuan growled. Kill me, the three of you together are not my opponent. How can the remaining two of you be my opponent? Were you going to be possessed by a demon just now? I really want to see your power of being possessed by a demon, but to be honest, you are no longer valuable now. I have almost tested the ability of the golden plum bottle, and it is time to send you on your way. I hope the young pavilion master likes this golden plum bottle, Guan Qi said. Hearing Guan Qi's words, the spectators were stunned at first, and then began to wonder who the young pavilion master he mentioned was. Is this Guan Qi helping me to become famous? Su Chen in the dark couldn't help but think in his heart. Jiang Hu. No matter when, reputation is a very useful thing. A good reputation, being called a hero, is admired by everyone. A bad reputation, everyone is afraid of it. Kill. While everyone was guessing, Guan Qi made a move, and the invisible sword energy that broke through his body was fully opened, and countless air appeared around Guan Qi. These airs were extremely sharp, and could pierce through everything, enveloping the two people, Du Yuan and Du He. What needs to be tested has been tested, so why leave two people behind? Du Yuan and Du He, who were shrouded in the sword energy, looked horrified. They wanted to get rid of it. There was a black aura flowing in the eyes of Monk Du Yuan, but under the invisible energy, the flow of this black aura slowed down. Kai kai kai. Scars appeared on the two people's bodies. They wanted to resist, but their energy was directly shattered by this invisible sword energy. Bang bang bang. The invisible sword energy broke into their bodies, and the two people fell directly to the ground, and blood flowed from them. The golden plum bottle also fell from Monk Du Yuan's body. Guan Qi slowly walked to the front of the golden plum bottle, and grabbed it directly. I thought someone was not afraid of death, and would come to take it. Guan Qi snorted coldly at the person in the dark. He put the golden plum bottle in his arms. Chapter 225. Golden Plum Bottle, Demonic Key, Heavenly Demon Zen Seal. Night. Silence. No one made a move. They didn't have the confidence to snatch the golden plum bottle from Guan Qi, so they didn't dare to make a move. Let's go. In the dark, the knife slave said to Zihan Yu beside him. Guan Qi killed people, and his aura didn't weaken at all. He didn't have the confidence to defeat Guan Qi, and he didn't want to become someone else's wedding dress. So he could only leave. As for the others, he didn't think anyone could snatch the golden plum bottle back from Guan Qi. Of course, for the golden plum bottle, he also hoped that Guan Qi would use it more. The golden plum bottle, there is another name, called the demon bottle. The more times it is used, the more the demonic nature will be eroded. The Buddhist practice of Buddhism can suppress some demonic nature. This is also the reason why the three people from Du Yuan dared to use it so many times. However, judging from the previous performance of Monk Du Yuan, he is also going to be possessed by the devil. The knife slave of Han Yu sect left without any dragging. Another place. I didn't expect this Guan Qi to be so strong. Meng Shentang looked at Guan Qi standing on the street with surprise in his eyes. Earlier, when he investigated the Golden Wind and Rain Tower, he sensed Guan Qi's aura. He was at the same level as him in the three difficulties of heaven and man, so he didn't care. But today, when Guan Qi took action, he showed a momentum that he couldn't match. Previously, he was thinking about helping to stop one person. Unexpectedly, he didn't need to take action at all. Uncle Meng, do we need to pay a visit? Mei Zuanshan asked. It's better not to, so as not to cause misunderstandings and attack us. Meng Shentang said, and took Mei Zuanshan away. Other people who were observing in the dark evacuated one after another. Outside the Golden Wind and Rain Tower, Nalan Rangayan, who was standing next to Bai Chaofi, looked at this situation with a look of horror on her face, and then showed a look of joy. She didn't expect Guan Qi's strength to be so strong. Pay close attention to the situation in Qinglang Temple, and the news about the 3 killer monks who died in my Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Bei Chaofui said. The 3 killer monks died in front of the Golden Wind and Rain Tower. Tomorrow, this news will definitely spread throughout Lingnan County and the other 8 counties in the north. Qinglang Temple will also get the news. They will definitely target the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower, so the news in this regard must be mastered. Yes. Nalan Rangan left quickly. She needed to quickly arrange people to pay attention to the movements of the Qinglang Temple and its affiliated forces. Of course, other forces will also pay attention. Guan Qi glanced at a dark place. In that dark place, 3 figures quickly disappeared. The 3 returned to the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower. At this time, Su Chen entered the Golden Wind and Drizzle Tower from another place. In the hall. As soon as the 3 stepped in, Su Chen's figure appeared in the hall. Meet the master. The 3 saluted Su Chen. Su Chen, wearing a bamboo hat, nodded. Master, this is the golden plum bottle. Guan Qi handed the golden plum bottle to Su Chen. Su Chen took the golden plum bottle and felt a little excited. Su Chen didn't care much about the golden plum bottle. He cared about whether he could trigger some rewards by touching such a treasure. Discovering a damaged spiritual level top grade treasure. Reward to orange lottery cards. This bottle is a bit broken. After using it for a period of time, it needs to absorb the essence of the sun and the moon to recover. The weak demonic energy of the demon in the demon bottle can affect people's souls and make warriors possessed. A series of information prompts appeared in Su Chen's eyes. This, 2 orange lottery cards, and this demon bottle is a broken spiritual level top grade treasure. These prompts let Su Chen know a lot. As for the level of weapons, Su Chen now knows that ordinary weapons, instrument level weapons, should be spiritual level weapons. From the prompt, it can be a spiritual level top grade, so there may be middle grade and low grade. But the demonic energy in this demon bottle can actually affect the soul and make people possessed. This is not a good thing. I just don't know how to purify this demonic energy, Su Chen said in a deep voice. Suddenly, his heart moved. Demon, weak demonic energy. He had previously obtained the secret scroll of the demon sect, the demon Zen seal method. He has never been able to practice it. I don't know if I can use this demonic energy to practice the demon Zen seal method. Check again. I got the demon Zen seal method before. At this time, suddenly, a prompt message appeared in front of him. Absorbing the weak demonic energy in the magic bottle, you can cultivate the heavenly demon Zen seal. This. Su Chen's face showed joy. He didn't expect there would be such a hint. This means that he can practice the secret scroll of the demon sect, the heavenly demon Zen seal. I will take this golden plum bottle first. Now that the 3 killer monks of Qinglang Temple have been killed, pay close attention to the situation in Qinglang Temple. And when Yifan, Mr. Guan, you can go visit him. How can you use my Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower without paying a little price? This Wen Yifan may be in charge of the 9 northern counties, and he is still useful. Su Chen said. My lord, I have already asked Nalan Rangan to pay attention to these, but after this time, our Jinfeng Xiaoyu Tower may be at the forefront of the fight against Qinglang Temple. According to the information on Qinglang Temple, I estimate that the other party may have a strong man of the Heavenly Man 9 difficulties. Bei Chaofui said in a deep voice. Heavenly Man 9 difficulties. Su Chen frowned slightly. Heavenly Man 9 difficulties, they don't have it here. Meet Wen Yifan first, then find Helian Xiaoyao. Since they are going to attack Qinglang Temple, they must know the strength of Qinglang Temple. There must be someone to contain the Qinglang Temple's Shinran Jiunan masters. See if we can learn something from them. Su Chen said. Yes. Bei Chaofui accepted the order. Su Chen turned and left, turning into a black shadow and disappearing into the night. Back to the inn. Su Chen began to prepare to use the magic energy in the golden plum bottle to practice the heavenly demon Zen seal method. The heavenly demon Zen seal method. It is a secret scroll. There is no text when the secret scroll is opened, only a picture. A monk in a black cassock sat on the futon, with some strange hand seals in his palms. Around him, women in black long skirts were floating. The picture was quite strange. When Su Chen opened the secret scroll, there was no change on the secret scroll. But when Su Chen activated the golden plum bottle, the magic energy flowed out of the golden plum bottle, originally heading towards Su Chen's soul. But it was directly absorbed by the secret scroll. Suddenly, a beam of light appeared in the secret scroll and shot directly into Su Chen's mind. In an instant, Su Chen seemed to enter another space, and there were Zen sounds around him. With the appearance of the Zen sound, the demon on the secret scroll appeared above Su Chen. Su Chen calmed his mind and directly imitated the monk's sitting posture and sat cross-legged. His palms also stood in the monk's posture, and suddenly a black Zen seal appeared in his palms. When the Zen seal appeared, Su Chen seemed to have been enlightened. The whole person began to enter a state of meditation, and those floating demons began to dance, and demonic energy poured into Su Chen's body. These demonic energies entered Su Chen's body and quickly condensed into Zen seals, helping Su Chen practice the demon Zen seal method. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.